prepared and still managed to fucking spend 40 minutes bullshitting. So love talking to you guys, but let's get over into the card. UFC 308, Topuria versus Holloway. I'm very, very curious to see where everybody sits. I haven't been placing bets lately. I've been busy building the studio and just haven't felt like I've been able to give it enough attention. And unstudied bets are bets you're throwing in the fucking trash. But I will be placing some bets on this week's card, and I am very curious to see where everybody stands on some of these fights. All right, so opening fight is all right. There's a couple fights on here I'm not on, but the higher up in the card we get, the more likely you're going to see me saying I'm betting this one, betting this one. Rinat Fakhretdinov is opening the card against Carlos Lee. I don't
Leal.
know. Leal, yeah, that's what I figured. Leal's making his debut, right?
Yeah, former PFL fighter.
I didn't know if he was coming from PFL one. I know we can expect to see a lot of one guys come over in the not so distant future. Remember when I told you guys one's gonna go broke and then PFL is gonna go broke after him? One's gonna go broke and PFL is gonna go broke after him. Sticking by that shit. All right. Opening odds on this fight are minus 250 for Rinat and plus 197 for Carlos. The over is set at minus 200. The under plus 160. That's 2.5 rounds. Um, I don't care how good you are. You're making your UFC debut against Rinat Fakhretdinov. I'm betting against you. Nothing's going to stop me from doing it either. Trace, get after it.
Man, Carlos Leal's not bad. He's a pretty decent fighter, and it's shown that he has cardio issues. He's got about 7 minutes, 8 minutes of cardio, and then he starts struggling. If Leal's a decent wrestler himself, he could decent enough to maybe keep the fight standing, and if he keeps it standing, he's a better striker. Uh, yeah, man, I could see Leal winning a decision here, but it's also over there, so I can see some corruption shit going on. Some I'm not gonna say corruption, but some leans on some certain fighters for a certain reason. Uh, I just think the line's too wide on Rinat. I don't think he should be as big of a favorite because he does. Like I say, he looks good for about the first 7 minutes, and from there, it's a struggle, man. He's not a clean fighter. Yeah, man. I think the fight goes over. I think the over is a safe play, but I don't know if I'm putting Fakhretdinov of any of my parlays. A little too close for me. What do you guys think? Usman, you got to take on this fight, brother?
Yeah, I think this is just one of those classic fights where a guy comes in late notice and everybody um, thinks he won because we know Hanat isn't going to finish it. He's going to go over and he puts out a really good performance, but Hanat just takes the decision. I'll be hitting the over and then Hanat by decision. Maybe even a little bit on the other guy by decision, Carlos Leal. Props haven't dropped, so I can't tell you anything on goes to split or anything like that. But I think the over is a good lock.
I think I might look at the split on this fight 'cause I do think, like I said, I think Hanat's probably going to win, but I think we're going to be like, man, I don't know about that one, and then it probably goes to a split decision. So I would be interested to see what the split is on this fight. Mike, what do you got?
Mike, nice to see you in the room, bud.
Yeah, I already told you on the group chat if Leal had a full fight camp, I would definitely probably throw a little bit on him because this is a good matchup for him. But we're not, from what I can see, even though his striking doesn't look pretty, he is the better striker here. He really is defensively sound, and he knows how to set up his strikes and how to use that to set up his wrestling. Again, striking is not pretty, but I do see what he's doing, and he does it very well. It really is. It's like watching Khabib strike. It's like it's not. It doesn't look traditional, but it is very effective for them. And that's this case with Renat. Renat's very good defensively, very good offensively, but he does everything with such like at 100% that he really does wear himself out in at the end. But Carlos, he the problem that I would say he presents is the pressure because he really does have good eyes in the pocket. He provides a lot of pressure. He doesn't let you breathe, and he just really knows when to strike. And he's all power too. I think Renat's just more powerful, and he's more of a dog. And I believe the wrestling is going to be to his advantage too. So if he misses in everything really like he should, it should be Renat by decision. Carlos will give him problems in the striking, but I think the over is probably the best bet you can make because they're both really tough and they're gonna. It's gonna look sketchy because I think they're really gonna like give each other a problem. They're gonna hit each other with some really good shots, but I think they're both really tough and they're gonna stick to it. Stick, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think this fight's going to touch a lot about Rinat. We're going to find out if he really is that guy that could be the next big thing or the next prospect, or is he just going to guy that's going to be able to beat the guys at our lower level and not necessarily a
Voice was
gatekeeper, but
fake.
I think I think we're going to find out a lot more about them too in this fight because I do think Leal is not. I don't think he's a title contender, but I do think he's a legit talent, and that this fight should be a banger for as long as it lasts.
Well, it sounds like I should have watched more tape. Also, I think Daniel's voice on the mic was fake and may have been a young teenage kid. So while we thought that he was slow, he was just a dumb fucking kid. Just a guess. Anyways,
Who the
boys,
hell is Daniel? What are you talking about?
you don't remember Daniel with the
Yeah,
voice that sounded like
Oh
that?
he
yeah,
threatened your life, buddy.
the serial killer.
Yeah, bro. Like this is. Hold on.
Who y'all talking
This
about?
is.
Mike, I don't think
This is his
you were
voice.
around yet.
This is what he sounded like. And we thought he might have been slow. He wasn't slow. He was a kid with a fucking mixer board for his gaming system.
So,
Just a
so
guess.
Mike, there was this guy who used to come around and break down fights in the space, and he sounded like this. And
Oh shit! Now I know who y'all
Hey,
talking
you
about.
yeah,
guys.
that
He
guy
was
who didn't like my joke and said he was going to whoop my ass and has guns.
he was funny, that dude. He always like if he always had an angle. If somebody he knew he's got a second cousin or
You're a
something
very
from
good
Florida,
father.
he's going
Joe,
from
you're a very
Florida.
good father. Joe's a good father, everyone.
That's right, Ozzy. It was always like, so my cousin is down in Pensacola, and he used to train with a guy who used to train with.
Bro, he was betting on that shit too. That's what's crazy.
I forgot about that guy.
Yeah,
Good callback.
Yeah,
he threatened to kill Usman, and he's like, "Oh shit, I probably shouldn't do this anymore." And it's never came back.
Well, no.
yeah.
If we're being real, the real reason why he came back, if y'all don't remember the meltdown in the chat, was because he got into an altercation with some black women in another space. And he says he loves black women, but he said something that they
All right,
didn't like.
we're moving on from Daniel and his bullshit. Up next is Bruno Silva versus Ismail Naurdiev. Um, Naurdiev sits at +4. No, wrong fight. Sorry about that. Naurdiev sits at -159. Silva +128. If you go to capmma.com, that's the average odds. This fight is reporting at 28 books for the past 17 days. The over is set at 2.5, +110, -140 to go under. I can't understand it. Um, I know Bruno has had some fights that go inside the distance. He gets finished and shit, but doesn't Ismail go the distance all the time? That's gotta. I'm gonna go look right
What
now
fight
because
is
I know
this?
that's gotta be. This is Ismail Naurdiev. I say it
Naurdiev
wrong. And Bruno Silva. Yeah,
and
Naurdiev.
Bruno Silva.
Doesn't he go the distance all the time? I'm going to
No,
look
no,
right now.
he's only had like 1 or 2 fights in the UFC, or 3 or 4 fights in the UFC. He was like win 1, lose 1, win 2, win, lose 1. He got cut. And they brought him back, but yeah,
Even still, he goes the distance every time. I just don't understand the under being where it's at, being the. I just don't get it. I don't understand how the
that's because
under
Bruno
is.
Silva's a thumper.
Bruno Silva is not good. I'm
Hey,
not
he went
betting
the
on
distance
Bruno
with
Silva.
Bahia and gave him the most trouble up until the title run.
Oh, I think the part you left out is he lost.
Some losses age well.
Oh, oh yeah. Tell me about his loss against Chris Weidman and how well that ages.
Hey
Eye
man,
pokes,
Let me know
man.
about
Eye
that.
pokes.
he only got poked 400 times in the eyeball.
Uh
He got robbed.
he got robbed, sure, of his fucking vision. That's what he got robbed of. Trace, what are you betting on this fight? This one's a pass for me. I don't bet Bruno Silva fights.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to bet this fight, but I think Bruno Silva probably get right fight after that. Probably comes in with that attitude, with the chip on his shoulder after uh, getting robbed or losing a questionable decision with definitely should have been some points taken for eye pokes. But yeah, I think he comes in here and he probably puts a beating on this dude. Probably gets him out round 1. Honestly, probably comes out, pressures him, starts throwing big bombs, and probably connects with one and sets him down. But it's low level enough to where I don't want to touch it, so I will steer clear. But I do think the Silva's side or Bruno's side. Mike, what you got on this?
Yeah, I was actually on Bruno Silva too. But the thing about Bruno Silva, like I know we all talk about the performance he had against Ferreira, which was a good performance, but he has not been the same since then. And I'm pretty sure it had everything to do with Ferreira just really putting that stone hands on him. So with that, just looking at Ismail, his defense is just really bad. He's a killer be killed fighter, and I think Bruno Silva is gonna knock him out in round 1. So I think the best probably bet is either the fight doesn't go the distance or the under.
Very nice. Usman, what are you playing?
Look, boys, this is not Canada. We know who's supposed to win here. Um, People will talk about the Pereira fight. People will talk about the Chris Weidman fight. Uh, Bruno Silva, he's done for. He's done for, and he's washed. And we'll just put the other guy on the money line and not really worry about it. What is the over under? 2.5. Yikes! Don't like that.
It's
Um,
definitely, dude. It's definitely not going the distance. They're they're both just gonna go swinging for it, and someone's gonna like. Even though I predict Bruno Silva, I understand that the other guy can knock him out too. Someone's getting knocked out.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Y'all know I look at these goes to split lines. I look at all the lines to try and tell me how to bet it sometimes. And goes to split is only plus 400. That tells us to bet the over. It's very weird. Goes the distance. We know that hits at 75% now, 74.89 or some shit like that. But I'm rounding up. Goes the distance at a minus number. This is goes the distance plus 140. Oh man, I'm just gonna put it on the guy with the neck beard.
Okay. Um, Fair enough. Am I muted? No. I seriously, the thing I don't like about the setup that I've built for myself, guys, is I have one, two, three, four, five fucking mute buttons. And I think only two work sometimes. I don't fucking know. Whatever. I still think it'll be impressive when I finally figure it out. Does anybody have their hand up? Because in my space, everybody has their fucking hand up.
No.
MySpace was dope.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about the spaces on the computer is the hands never go down once people put them up. So right now, Connor's got his hand up, Trace got his hand up, Ozzy got his hand up, Usman got his hand up. If any of you put your hand up, it'll just fucking stay on the computer screen. It's like a weird thing, but whatever. All right, next fight up is Kennedy Nzechukwu. No. Kennedy Nzechukwu
The
and
N
Chris
is
Barnett.
silent. Nzechukwu.
Oh, he's fighting a dude named Chris Barnett. How about that, fucker? What's the over under on Chris Barnett actually making it to the octagon?
I'm worried he won't make weight.
That wouldn't get him to the octagon if he misses. Well, it might. Chris Barnett plus 426, Kennedy minus 625. Says it's new on the books, which means it ain't been there very long. 29 books are reporting it. The over-under set at 1.5, minus 150 to go under, plus 120 if you take the over action. God, I don't know that I'll actually do it because I usually only end up putting it in my parlay picks. Every now and then, though, I'm just like, I'll do another one. Chris Barnett by decision is got to be killer money. Yeah, I see your thumbs down, Trace. I know it's not a good bet. I know it. But Kennedy's not that good, man. He's not. He is fucking not that good.
No. Let me stop you there, Joe. Kennedy at 205 wasn't good because he was draining himself. My man is a big dude. He's meant to be a big boy. He's meant to fight them heavyweights. He's young. He's gonna be the faster guy than most of them heavyweights. This is the move he's been needing for the longest time. He's about to go up here and feast. He's about to start fucking dudes up, and it starts with Chris Barnett. I like Huggy Bear too. I like Huggy Bear too, man. It's cool. He's fat. He can dance. That's dope. As a fat guy, we all want to dance, But my motherfucker that dude ain't dancing this weekend, bro. He going to sleep.
He got outstruck by OSP, right?
Who?
Kennedy.
Man, his mama was his mama was sick, bro. Come on.
All right, man. All I'm saying is
The African spirit's coming out. He's fighting for mama. Everybody's fucked, dude. He's gonna beat them all up.
I'm just saying, I don't know why. Like, Chris Barnett is such a horrible fucking bet, but I want to bet Chris Barnett so fucking bad. I can't explain it. Like, Kennedy's not good, bro. Kennedy, listen, if the line was different, I would be like, oh yeah, Kennedy, You're telling me Kennedy is minus 650? That means you're telling me he's going to knock Chris Barnett out in round 1. That's what minus 650 is. Actually, and like I know, it's a little worse than that. That means he should go in there and wreck him inside of maybe under a half a round.
What? Minus 600?
Minus 650, bro.
Yeah,
If you look around,
the line's getting a little out of control because everybody's parlaying it. But minus 350, I don't see nothing wrong with that. I do think he goes in there and beats him in round 1. I think he probably goes in there and looks very good. Like I said, he should enjoy a very, very big size advantage. First off, I mean, he's like 6 or 7 inches taller than Huggy Bear, but also a huge reach advantage. And then on top of that, a speed advantage. Like this should be a perfect get right. Like it's a perfect introduction to the heavyweight division for him. They're throwing him a bone. Huggy's
Who
He was
who
he really
was
wasn't a UFC, like he was somebody I've seen before the UFC. Was like, hell yeah, he would be fun if he was in the UFC back whenever the UFC's heavyweight division didn't really have any athletes. But now, like he came into the UFC way too late into his career, and man, he's just not gonna hack it. He's a different generation of heavyweight.
who who was Kennedy supposed to fight?
I think it was
Marcos
the Lima, right?
Rogerio De Lima is out. Insert Junior Tafa. Junior Tafa's out. Insert Chris Barnett.
A
Man,
plethora of motherfuckers.
that's a weird fight for me. Mike, what are you betting? Tell me why I'm a fool.
Because he struggles against the actual big heavyweights that know how to use their range and or size, and Kennedy is one of those fighters that knows how to use their range and or size. And plus, Barnett's just not good. Like, it's Barnett that's not good, not Kennedy. Kennedy fought an OSP that actually showed up, except one of these fighters he didn't fight the OSP that was always taking a back step. He fought the OSP that showed up and wanted to fight, and he was in for a fight against OSP. He still put on a good performance, but Barnett's not going to be able to hang with that. He's going to get knocked out early, and yeah, that's that.
Okay. I mean, I don't have a ton of argument for it. I think that line is ridiculous.
Oh no, it
Usman, what are
is.
you playing? I don't think it's playable, bro. I don't care how confident you are. You're telling me minus 650 on Kennedy. You're never gonna get me there. You're never gonna get me there. Usman, what are you playing on this one?
So there are no props out yet. I just like to remind y'all, Barnett missed his fight last week because he's stuck in a hurricane and all this shit. So best of luck to him, but you know the guy needs money. The way you get that number down is you go Kennedy's Nzechukwu round one, KO round one, and then submission round 1 and 2. And I think that submission is live. That's what I'll be taking.
Um, the submission by Kennedy.
Yeah, he's got a nice little front choke, and you know, what's his name? Barnett is gonna get hit and then dive on the legs.
That's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. Up next is Magomedov and Bruno Ferreira. A boost or a bus, however you want to say it. I do believe he says it a boost, though. I do believe that's how he says it. His line is going off at minus 145, plus 117 if you take Bruno. 28 books, 17 days. The under is at 1.5. You're getting plus 100 to take the over, and you're getting minus 130 if you take the under. Fuck, not a very fun fight. I would say that I'm a little surprised to see the over underline that close at 1.5. Yeah, I don't know. I would have expected that it would be set at the 2.5. Because I expect that this fight is probably gonna go the distance. I mean, I guess not Bruno Ferreira, right? But a boost, I don't think he finishes a boost, and I don't think a boost finishes him. I think this is gonna be the classic two guys with great power can't finish each other fight. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's a fucking banger. I hope somebody goes to sleep in the first round. But man, this is one of them fights where I look at it and I think they cancel each other out. I was trying to check the reach to see if there was a huge reach difference because a boost is, and it says a boost is 78 inches of reach. And Bruno is 72. I knew there was a height difference. A boost is 6'2 to 5'10. I knew that the height difference was fairly significant, but I wasn't sure if the reach was that much. Man, yeah, that just adds up for a boost being able to keep him at bay, and I don't think that he finishes Bruno either. I think the over is a good bet here. Trace, what are you playing?
Boost da ba dee da ba da. Mike, tell him that. Break it down for us, brother. I don't even know how to break this one down for you. I'm in complete agreement with you.
Yeah, Abus is gonna win this fight. Abus is really good at keeping his opponents at his striking range, and he throws with a lot of power. But what he has also shown is that he's very good at using his size when it comes to the grappling, and he's really heavy when he gets in advantageous positions and when he can take the back. I think the size of Abus is going to be a big problem. The over is the best bet opposed to the money line because I have it in my notes here, right here. The KO power of Ferreira will be present the whole fight, and Ferreira can move. He can cover a lot of distance at a really fast rate. So even though I think a boost is gonna win, and I think he's gonna be able to keep it safe, just I think the over is just the best play because they're both going to be very wary of what they can do to each other. So there you go.
Mike, did you just agree with me, bro?
Yeah,
Nice. Usman, what are you playing?
Over 1.5 at plus money. I'll take it all damn day. I like Bruno Ferreira here, but that's mostly because I've been seeing lots of people that I consider a mush on on a boost. And I'm not talking about you, Mike. I was just asking for your pick earlier just to make sure which side you were on. Um, Even though Mike is a total fucking mush. Over 1.5, 1.5.
Man, I just feel like y'all are gonna. I'm not betting this fight. I do think a boost wins. I probably just play the money line. Uh, y'all are gonna sweat y'all's nuts off on those overs in that fight, dude. I feel like it's gonna be a banger.
Cracking each other in the jaw in the first round, and everybody on the over going, "Oh fuck, what did I do? What did I do?" I still think it gets there. I still think it gets there. Up next is Mateusz Rębecki versus God damn it. I said it in my head right before this. I'm like, yeah, I got this one right. It's
Myktybek Orolbai.
Myktybek Orolbai. Minus 313 on Orolbai, plus 240 for Rębecki. 25 books, 17 days. The over 2.5, minus 105. You're getting minus 125 to take the under. Yeah, I would say this fight's probably lined pretty correctly. I don't think that I shouldn't say. I think that Rębecki is very strong, and I think that maybe that could pose a problem that doesn't justify minus 313 on Orolbai, but not enough that I'd be willing to die on that stake if I'm building a parlay and I'm trying to get to 6 or 7 legs. Orolbai probably makes that parlay. The over under on this fight, though, not going to take, and it's weird. So I would have expected to see this fight set at 1.5 on the over under, and I would have expected to see the last fight set at 2.5 on the over under. I don't know. Weird to me. Trace, what are you betting?
Yo, he made homeboy look like the Terminator when he fought him. Like Diego Ferreira. Like for him to basically look like he turned back the clock because of the beating that he put on. Oh shit, I'm drawing a blank on the name. On what's his name?
Mateusz
Talking about
Rębecki.
No, Rębecki. The beating he put on Rębecki, like he beat the dog shot of him because he gassed after round one. The dude that doesn't have very big arms, very big reach, not a very big guy for the division. I think Orolbai, being the younger, faster, more athletic guy, is probably gonna endure round one. Let him kind of gas. It's gonna be a nice little clash. It'll be some scary moments because of striking and the power coming his way because he is hittable. But I think round one, into round one, beginning of round two, he probably gets Rębecki out of there. Probably, I'm gonna go submission.
Very nice. Mike, what are you playing on this one?
After breaking down the fight, I am fully on Myktybek. Like, and the big difference is I always thought Rębecki, which is how you pronounce the name, um, I always thought he had the cardio for it, as hard as he throws his strikes and just the pace he keeps. But I think it was the reason he looked so good early is because his opponents weren't really making him work. He was just having his way with them. And then Diego Ferreira, who was able to provide resistance, made him really work for everything he was trying to do, and that wore him out. And that's what Myktybek is going to be able to do. I think Myktybek is the better grappler. He changes wrestling attacks together. It's just so fluid. It's beautiful to watch. Like he is as sticky as it gets, and the striking. That's another thing. Like Rębecki, he throws everything hard, but nothing is really straight. Myktybek, it's all straight shots. He has some longer reach, and the one thing I love watching when he strikes is he punches through the center line. Like when he steps in and he punches through his opponents, that's the power. That's what creates such impactful moments. And I believe he's gonna knock Rębecki out. I believe the striking is going to be enough. So Myktybek money line all day, and I totally understand why he's like minus 300. I don't. He's got a chin too. Let's not forget about that. He could take a shot. So it's him all day.
Man, oh man. Usman, what are you playing?
I don't know, man. I was in here telling y'all guys bet on Carlos Diego Fiera, man. I don't think Miktek's jiu-jitsu is going to be as good as CDF's was. And I kind of like Rębecki at these odds, man. Like, should Miktek be the favorite? Sure. Minus 310 is a little too crazy for me. Best bet, I think, is the over. Um, Fucking Rębecki took a pretty generational beating from what's his name. You know what? CDF beat Rębecki so bad that he looked like Miktek Orolbai. And if you know, you know. But I think the over is the best bet, and then I'll take a little bit on Rębecki. Hey, I see Aussie's hand up. We got Aussie in here. We got Cade. We got D Baby now. I don't know
Hello?
if any of them are speaking or if we can't see their hands. I know they're usually throwing their hands up. Has anybody wanted to
Ozzy
say
just put his
something for
hand
the
up. I
fights?
seen that one. Ozzy's got his hand up.
All right, cool.
Ozzy, get after it,
Yes.
bud.
Yeah. I was going to say it's hard after watching that last fight to not have something on Orolbai round three here. I don't think he's like a dramatic finisher or anything, but when you add up just the ground and pound I expect him to get in round three, I do think there's probably takedowns on both sides early. Either guy can get the early takedown, but come round three, it's going to be all Orolbai. He could get a neck. He could just get we've seen it TKO, cardio TKOs before. I think it's really live here. I really like the round three on Orolbai. I'm not racing to the window to bet he's minus 300. The more I looked into it, Miktek is probably going to, the first round's going to be competitive. Second round, it's probably Orolbai. And then come that third round, should be all Orolbai. So, yeah, I'm gonna take him round three. Hopefully, I get a good number. I haven't got lines for that yet in Australia, but hopefully, it's something worth playing.
You just playing the round three prop, or you gonna pick a method?
Nah, you got to just play the round three, man. Like he can get a positional TKO or he can get a neck. Arm triangle something. He can finish either way. I think come that third round.
I like it. I'll probably tell you. Anybody else got a take on this
Very
fight?
nice.
Low key, I ain't gonna lie though. I thought Rębecki had hands, but he like a bar fighter, like low key. Like he like a low key technical bar fighter.
Oh yeah, he's the fuck you up. He's that guy at the local
What you
watering
think?
hole that'll fuck you up.
What?
Type shit. Yeah, I'm going with the caveman.
I ain't mad at that. All right. Up next is RDA and Jeff Neal. RDA plus 247. Jeff Neal minus 323. 30 books, 17 days. The over is set at 2.5. Over minus 165. Under plus 135. I've got to admit, I think over 2.5 at minus 165 is a very generous line from the bookies. I think that should be minus 220. I think the over under is a very nice play here. I think RDA is the better fighter 5 years ago, but he's old as fuck, and I can't bet that. But I still think he can take Jeff Neal the distance. Trace, tell me why you think I'm wrong.
I'm actually gonna go last on this one. We do have somebody with their hand up down there, a new speaker, so we'll get Anish on the mic. But yeah, I'll go last on this one.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Mike, you want to open this one up?
Hold on, Joe. Anish, what's up? What's up, Anish?
Yo, thanks for having me. I don't know if maybe I'm a little late to the party, but I wanted to actually ask about what you guys. I mean, I thought you guys were gonna let it continue with the Rębecki and the Orolbai fight. Uh, I mean, I kind of read a few parallels between this fight and the one we saw last week with Mateusz Nicolau and Asu Almabayev, where Nicolau showed incredible takedown defense, but yet in the end lost the decision for not being able to control, having cage control or octagon control. And, he couldn't decide where the fight took place despite defending so many takedowns, but he got taken down in the end. And I see something similar here, but the only
Nah,
difference
he
being
got dropped. He
Rębecki.
got dropped. He didn't get taken. He got dropped.
Yeah. But Rębecki is somebody who's got power and he's a come forward fighter. So with that, what do you guys think? Do you think that's going to make a difference to this guy, Orolbai?
No, he can take a shot and he can give it back. And even his forward pressure is going to force Orolbai to shoot. And Orolbai is a really good chain wrestler. So if once he shoots and he grabs you, he's going to stick to you. So yeah.
All right, that's it for me then.
Fair enough.
Great
Fair
question.
enough.
Great
No
question.
problems. Yeah, it was. Let's jump back to the Jeff Neal RDA fight. Like I said, I think this one goes over. I think a lot of people are going to be on the Jeff Neal KO to throw that out there, and I don't think that's a good look. Mike, you want to open this one up?
Sure. Honestly, I'm gonna just go over. I think Jeff Neal's gonna win because he has the power, but I'm just rooting for RDA because I feel like he could. I felt like that last time. I felt like he could really take it to Vicente Luque, and Vicente Luque just did his game better than he could. So that kind of tells me that he is pretty much almost times. His time's almost up. So I'm gonna just take the over, but I'm rooting for RDA, even though I'm pretty sure Neil's got that one in the bag.
Bro, I'm telling you, if it goes the distance, RDA's got a chance at a split. I would say it that way. I think Jeff wins the first one easy, but if RDA is even in decent shape, I think he wins the third, no problem. Usman, oh shit. Not hold on, Usman. K, nice to see you in the room, bud. Get after it.
What up, guys? What up? Yeah, I kind of agree with I think it was you, Joe. I actually agree. I think RDA has to be like I feel like he's the side here. Like I know Jeff Neal could obviously do what he did to Bilal Muhammad um to RDA, and RDA is older, but and Jeff Neal does have good takedown defense, but like at minus 300, dude, like if RDA gets Jeff Neal to the ground, I think it's that big of a gap difference where like you could obviously like I feel like that's enough to steal around. So um I don't know. I don't think I'm going to put my money on that, but I just think if you're going to play the fight, I mean, and you're looking at a side instead of like an over or something, I just think RDA is the better bet because I think if he was to just get Neil down, I think, like I said, I think that's enough to steal a round because I think he's that much better than him there. So, just my opinion.
It's always somebody trying to make an argument for the old niggas.
Yeah, and old fans always do that shit too. That's for real. You
Nah,
can't. There's no denying
I
that.
respect it. Damn, I mean, not even Shabcat. I don't know if Shabcat a good wrestler, but I think he couldn't even take him down. And he already mentioned Bilal, so it's like, dang, now the son RDA can do it. Like, I don't know. Shit, maybe I'm tripping.
Well, that's why I referenced 5 years ago for sure. The pressure, RDA would pressure him against the cage, and he would do not Marab shit, but Marab shit to him. I just don't know that RDA's got it in him anymore. That's the most concerning thing for me as a guy who would like to pick RDA.
I noticed
But I'm just
though.
taking that
I
over.
noticed Joe, like when somebody good plus money, they always trying to find a way to argue because it's like, especially if they like plus 300-400, like, oh, let me make an argument, like, cause it's plus
Yeah,
four
you
money.
just heard me saying shit. Chris Barnett at +4. What? He ain't even good,
Yeah, I
bro.
mean, I'll say this. I know that it's a different style of fight, but I mean, I literally sat there. I've probably been to the two of the boringest fights I've ever seen in my life. And it was the Nami Nunes and Carla fight. And then I got the pleasure to watch fucking Ian Gary and Jeff Neal have a fucking dance off in the middle of the octagon for fucking 15 minutes. So I'll never lay minus 300 on that shit ever. Not gonna happen. I don't care what style of fight it is. That's just crazy, bro. That was I don't know.
Yeah,
I just can't do it.
I ain't mad at you for it.
Yeah, I feel-
Usman, what are you betting on this fight? Are you betting this fight?
Am I betting this fight? What am I, some loser? Of course I'm betting this fight. It's over, man. It's over. I really want to get to an RDA split decision, but I just don't think it will happen. Love me some RDA. Talking about boring fights, my first live event was RDA versus Leon Edwards, and now you know where my Leon Edwards hate comes from. Jeff Neal by points is +100. You're gonna get some good plus money there, but I think I'll just take the over.
I think that over is going to be a nice
And y'all
play.
don't think,
Hey,
my bad, y'all don't think the over, y'all ain't gonna be clenching your butt cheeks? Cause Neil do got some power though. I'll be clenching my butt cheeks if I play the over.
Nah,
It
RDA's tough, bro. He's
yeah,
always in good shape.
it'll be scary. He'll get hit hard, but RDA's got that damn fucking pit bull brick of a head, and he's smart enough to clinch and try to take it to the fence whenever he does get hurt.
I think split decision's a
yeah,
good
he's going
bet.
to have to knock him out cold.
Usman.
He's going to have to knock him out cold. If he can't put him out cold, I don't I don't think he
Look,
can finish
Usman,
him.
I think split for the whole fight is a good bet, bro. Because I could honestly see where Jeff Neal lands more damage, but RDA holds him up against the fence, and then you have that one judge that gives it to RDA for control time. I don't know, man. Like I
Oh,
could
you
see
know
some
what?
shit.
And it's his birthday. Oh hell no, it might be some funny shit.
Yeah, it's
Whose
RDA's
birthday?
RDA's. It's RDA's birthday on Saturday.
Well, look.
Mhm.
Goes to split is +500. That tells us the under is supposed to hit. Goes the distance is -140. That tells us the over is supposed to hit. We take the over. We hit goes to split at +500, and then you just touch both of these fighters to win by split decision. You got +1,000 for Jeff Neal, +1,200 for RDA. Fuck it, let's make money and gamble.
Yes, I do
Very nice.
think that RDA has a path to victory in this fight, and Cade touched on it. I do think it's the clinch. I don't think it's necessarily a takedown, but I think it's the clinch against the fence. I don't know if he can get Jeff Neal down because we've seen that Jeff Neal does have some good takedown defense, but I do think he's strong enough to hold him up against the fence for 3 rounds. It might be tough the first round. He may not be able to get him up against the fence too much, but I think we're going to see him try to wrestle and try to get him tired. And then once Jeff Neal's a little tired, I think we start seeing him get him up against the fence and him not having as much success spinning off the fence and breaking away from RDA. And we see RDA kind of stick to him and try to smother him. He
RDA
made
too small for that nigga, bruh.
RDA, dude. RDA, it ain't nobody more of a dog than RDA. That dude is tough as nails. Like he's old leather, just old mean old bastard's what he is. But he's a nice guy. But he will tear your ass up in that octagon. I would not be surprised if we see RDA win a split decision due to control.
I will say this: I can't, man. I feel the same way, but not strong, not confident enough to bet RDA
Yeah.
because I feel like
If anything, I would probably bet the split prop and touch both sides, like Usman said. Don't know that I'd put a lot on it, but yeah, I do think there's a good shot that he goes to a split. I think it's closer than people think.
yeah, I think that's fair. I just worry about one day, and it happened with Cowboy. One day, Cowboy showed up, and you're like, "Fuck, he's cooked. He's not going to win anymore."
Well, the
And you
thing is
just
that
knew.
Jeff Neal doesn't really show any urgency. Like he's not that guy that's going to try to put you away, hunt you down, and knock you out. He's glad to sit there and strike his distance with you. He'll blitz you every once in a while and try to put combos on you, but he's not going to pursue the finish heavily.
He's like a
He,
counter puncher.
yeah, he responds well to people that's going to give him opportunities. Whereas RDA's not going to RDA is going to strike to grapple. He's going to hit him with a 2 or 3 punches and then drop down, grab them legs. I think we see him smother him a bit here.
That should give you a lot of confidence in betting the over, people.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is probably the best bet of the night, the over. Because like I said, we're talking about the split prop and how we're going to play it. Got to get the over to get the split. That's probably
What
your
is it?
best
One
bet.
and a half?
Should be
2.
2-5, honestly.
2.5?
2-5,
Oh shit.
which is where it should be.
Yeah, you're
That's
just
where it
basically
should be.
hoping Jeff doesn't catch him. That's basically it, right? Because I don't think,
Yeah.
or RDA maybe find his way to us. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the overs. Yeah, that's. I think yeah, like I said, split over. I think it hits.
Um,
Sounds like we're in agreement.
yeah,
Even if we're not on the same fighter to win, we're all on the over.
yeah, I agreed. Everybody seems to be on the over, so that seems to be the way to go. Up next
I think Anish has his
is
hand up.
oh my bad. I don't, guys. You got. Thanks for
Yeah,
letting
my
me know.
bad, Joe. My
Anish, get
bad.
after
That's
it,
on
bud.
me. Anish, what you got, brother?
Yeah, I was just waiting for everyone else to finish before I put my take in. So regarding the RDA and Jeff Neal fight, well, RDA may be old, but he's slowed down a little. But yeah, Jeff Neal isn't getting faster or younger either. But I'll tell you what, anybody basically thinking that RDA can, work in the wrestling on Jeff Neal, people forgot Jeff Neal also has takedown offense, not just takedown defense. He can mix in the wrestling as well. So as much as we like RDA, I mean, I'm an RDA fan, but RDA is just not the same size. And since he's gotten older, he's got the cardio advantage over almost anybody not named Tony Ferguson in his prime. But yeah, so I don't see RDA being able to work his wrestling against Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal's got power. RDA has no power for him either. So I just see maybe, Jeff Neal winning the first 2 rounds and maybe just taking the third round off. Or maybe RDA just, having the better cardio in round 3 and winning on point. So I think Jeff Neal by decision is a good play if you want to play a prop, but safe bet, I think Jeff Neal money line is the safest for me, and that's the one I'll maybe going by. But I can't disagree where a lot of people feel that RDA, could actually is a good value pick. So yeah, maybe given on how he looks on Fight Night could be a live bet situation. But apart from that, yeah, Jeff Neal seems to be the pick.
The only time I really talk value around here is whenever I'm talking DraftKings for DFS. Other than that, I don't look at a line like, oh, that's got value on it. I'm not really a value boy in that sense. For DraftKings, it's people have value because even though they lose, they score a certain amount of points. But I get what you're saying. All right, Joe, what we got next?
Up next is Ibo Aslan versus Rafael Quarica, if I say that right. I know I murdered them names. Whatever. It is what it is, boys. I try to get them all.
Bro, we have a Mexican in the room. Let him cook. Usman, what we got here?
You know, I'm just surprised that fucking Evo Aslan is above RDA. What's this other guy's name? I'm trying to pull it up. Give me a second.
It's like Rafael
Oh,
Cerveza, something like that.
Rafael Querquera? Which means
Sounds
what do
good to
you
me.
want in Spanish? I don't know. I think that's Brazilian. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, he's Brazilian.
All right, so nobody knows who the fuck these guys are, but
No,
watch
no.
What fight
this.
is this? I want to see this fight.
Mike, tell me who's about to win, Aslan or Rafael, whatever the fuck.
All right, so here's the funny thing. I did do the tape study on the fight, but my memory's kind of shot on this. This is what I have in the notes. No money line bets over 1.5. That's it.
I did
Man,
tape
that sounds like
tape study on it today. I got you.
You did?
Yeah, I did it today actually. So I'm actually on the debutante, man. This dude's got some nasty fucking body kicks, dude. Like has a stoppage with a two body kick combo to the body, and the guy just folded.
You got Rafael.
Spin,
You talking about Rafael?
yeah,
Yo,
I
did they
got
move this
I got
fight
the
to
left body kick
hey
on my
Trey?
notes.
They moved this
spinning
fight
back.
to the main event?
He's got a spinning back kick knockout. He's got arm triangle. He's a good fighter, man. He's nasty on the feet. Seems to have good power. Like I said, the kicks are what I really noticed. I think he's the more explosive, more well rounded fighter. Maybe not more explosive, but a more well rounded fighter with the more diverse game. I think he could take down Ebo and get the finish on the ground via submission. Or I do think because we've seen Ebo in his last fight struggle with cardio pretty early on against the pleasure man. That was their second or third time that they fought in their career. The pleasure man was beating him up until the third round when he got caught. The second round was kind of close, but for the most part, a guy that was a grappler outstruck the striker. So yeah, I'm pretty confident in this Hoffel guy. I think he goes in there, probably beats him up to the body, takes his cardio, and finishes in round two. I think the kid's probably going to be a pretty nasty prospect.
Yo, they moved this shit to the main card.
I'm not sure where it's at on the card, but Evo is a boxer that doesn't have any head movement. Like he's big shots and big power. If he connects, yeah, he has a good chance of knocking you out. But moves back in a direct line. Like at one point, I keep calling the pleasure. His name is the pleasure man. I can't think of his freaking name right now. But at one point, he just ran straight at him, throwing straight punches, and he just ate every one of them, going straight back in a line. Like there was no pivot off, there was no spin off, there was no head movement. Just if you throw a straight punch at him, you have a good shot of hitting this guy. Well, we'll see how good his chin is. But like I said, the reason I think the body is the kicks, man. I think we're going to see a body kick here that might put him down.
Anton Turkalj, whatever. Anton.
Takali.
There you go. That's a pleasure, man.
Appreciate you, brother. Yeah,
Oh,
it
you're
was a good
talking about
fight.
Mackenzie Dern's convict boyfriend.
What? I have no idea what that.
Baby,
Yeah, but hey, it was a
cash
good.
prelim, baby.
If you didn't watch the fight, if you don't remember it, it was a good fight. Like it was a good banger. Like it was just two low level guys swinging at each other. So yeah, fun fight.
Joe, you're thinking about
Usman, ain't that the
no,
dude just in jail for
you're
Mackenzie
thinking
Dern?
about Antonio Tricoli.
Yeah, Tricoli.
Tricoli did get beat up by somebody on this card. I forget who though.
He got beat up by
Man.
Shara.
Yes,
Shara
yes.
Bullet.
Yep, Shara Bullet.
Shara fucking Bullet. Speaking of, well, hold on. Anybody else want to get in on this fight? Usman, you got to play here?
Fuck no, bro. I don't know who either of these guys are.
But look, the reason I said the over 1.5, besides the plus money, is that Ebo he didn't show the killer instinct he showed when he was fighting Turkalj. So with that, and I think he's gonna be able to show his power. They both are, but I don't think it's gonna be one of those barn burners where they just go for it. I think this is gonna be one of those fights where they once they feel each other's power, they're gonna be take their time a little bit more before they find the kill shot. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
No problems at all, bud.
I've
I think
seen.
that cashes this fight, right?
Well, I seen I am Saturday requested. Saturday, did you have a take on this fight?
What's good, you little rapscallions? What fight are you guys talking about? Sorry, I just tuned in.
We're on the Ebo Aslan fight versus
Oh
Rafael.
no, I'm not. I have no wagers on that. I'm good.
Hey, fair, no problem there, buddy. This is the last minute I did tape study on it today type fight, so I get it.
Good for you.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
it's too risky. I do like the under. Aslan seemed to be pretty irresponsible with his striking in his debut, but yeah, I'm probably laying off the first like 2 fights.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't think this order is actually right, Joe. I'm pretty sure this is like the opening fight on the prelims, actually.
Yeah, I was wondering, but I'm on UFCstats.com. I'm hitting their order, so I just
whatever. We get it covered. We get it covered. If somebody's got to search for a certain fight, they got to search. It is what it is.
It looks like the Fakhretdinov fight might be the opener now. I think that got moved today.
Oh,
yeah. What the?
All right. Well, if we got nothing else
going
on this
on
one,
outside?
we'll let Mike get back on it whenever he gets back. But if he wants to finish his take, but if not, we'll move on.
Yeah,
that
let's
was all
move
my
on. I
take.
got some. All right, so Mike was done. Shara Bullet versus Armen Petrosyan is the next fight.
I think you skipped one, brother.
Shara. No, I didn't.
Isn't Shara on the main card?
Yeah.
We're not talking about Farid Basharat versus Victor Hugo.
We're just gonna go off the order of UFC stats since he's already been doing it, so we don't get fucked up. And
Oh shit! I skipped that fight fucking 8 fights ago.
Yeah,
or some shit. That's the third
like
fight on the card.
Third fight.
Yeah, you're talking about Victor
Hugo.
Who cares
and
about that fight?
Farid.
Yo, that's gonna be a good fight,
Dude,
Bro, I bet that shit is like minus
I
1,000 or
did
something.
tape
Where the
on
fuck
Minus
is it?
Victor
650.
Henry. I was like, man, this is an easy over. This is Basharat all day.
Basharat's 650, Joe.
so I'm just I'll put it like this: Victor Hugo is gonna be a fun prospect. He's gonna have a good future in the UFC. I don't know if the line should be minus 650. I do think Basharat wins this fight with his wrestling, and just him being able to mix it up his takedowns with his wrestling or his takedowns with his striking. I think he's just going to be a little bit too much for Hugo, but Hugo is going to be a good prospect. I would not be surprised if he has some success in this fight. I just think he's going to get a little bit overwhelmed at times and probably lose a decision.
I think Farid at minus 625 is the appropriate line.
Nah, minus 625, you're getting a finish. Like that. You need to finish at least in the first 2 rounds to cover that bill. I think it's a decision.
I think it definitely.
The books got him at minus 625 with the over 2.5 at minus 220 at the same books. Bro.
No, I think it definitely covers. I think it definitely covers itself if he has Victor Hugo on his back for 15 minutes, which is more than likely what's going to happen. It's probably going to be 3 rounds of WrestleMania.
You can't see me, that type shit, huh? Usman, what are you playing on this?
Like I said, I thought this was Victor Henry up until today. But this isn't the shitty Basharat brother, so we're going Basharat on a parlay. We'll go the over, and then Basharat by points is minus 165.
Does anyone have a line on Hugo by sub? I'm not seeing it on DraftKings right now. I'm looking at it right now. That actually might not be a bad hedge if you're looking for something.
Hugo by submission. Oh, you better touch it. I know. I know we have an Australian in the chat that will definitely be betting it. Oh, Aussie's gone. That motherfucker. Victor Hugo by submission is plus 2,500 on Bet Online.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like that's a hefty
Sprinkle, baby.
price, dude. And yo, Hugo's good on the ground. Like he's a legit like grappling artist. He's gonna get controlled for sure by Basharat, but like something like a miracle, some sort of triangle or whatever. Like I probably don't see him landing a guillotine or an RNC, but some sort of like miracle triangle when he's from the bottom. That might not be a bad play, a bad hedge.
I got no dispute with it. Anybody else want to get in on this fight? Mike, what do you got on this fight?
Hey man, I was thinking when I broke down this before I broke it down, I was like, man, there might be some value on Hugo because there's no way Basharat should be a -4 to 600 against this
Yes, he
caliber of
should.
fighter. But man, I get impressed every time I break down Basharat, man. I am just such a huge fan of Farid, bro. This dude is he's almost a perfect fighter. Striking and grappling is just the work. Watching this dude fight is a work of art, man. He knows when to strike, anticipates counters, does the right movements at the right time. It's Basharat all day by decision. The only thing I see Hugo's problem is with the striking, not the grappling. It's just his timing. Hugo has his timing is very underrated when it comes to his counters, and Basharat just leaves very small openings when he enters to strike, and Hugo has really good timing on his left hook when you enter on him carelessly. So aside from that, this is Basharat all day. I believe he wins by decision, so the over is the best play.
Fair enough. Bookies agree with you 100%. Whatever that's worth. I don't see any hands up. I feel like everybody got after it. I'm gonna move on to the next fight, which is not the next fight, but for us, the next fight is Shara Bullet versus Armen Petrosyan, opening up the main card here. UFC 308, Petrosyan plus 137. Bullet minus 169. That's the average over 27 books, 17 days. Both of these guys making headlines on the odds board. Over 2.5 minus 280. Under 2.5 plus 220. Man, I feel like a broken record sometimes when I'm like, man, I've been on Shara for so long. I can't believe he's only been in the UFC since 2023. Like everybody knew who he was. But I'm gonna be 100% honest here and say that okay, the takedowns are gonna be, I don't know, man. I feel like Petrosyan is a big step up for him is all I'm getting at. I feel like Petrosyan is a guy who has a huge step up from Shara, and I feel like we've seen Shara look. I mean, even though like he had good wins, we've seen him look not as impressive as we thought he would, and we've talked about it in these spaces. So, I don't know, man. It's hard for me to want to bet Shara in this fight. I think the over is fucking easy breezy money. I don't think these boys finish each other. I think Shara's chance of finishing him is very little based on Shara's last couple performances. Yeah, whatever. Just what I think. What I think is what I think. Trace, what are you betting on this fight?
I'm gonna kick it to Mike. I know you had a pretty strong take on this fight.
Get after it, Mike.
Hey, look, man, I agree with you. I've been looking for a time to shade Shara, but I don't think this is it. I think I agree. Huge step up in competition. This is probably the highest level he's faced so far. But dude, just watching Shara, like just even though I don't think he meets people's expectations. Oh my god, give me a second. Sorry.
Ain't no problem. Trace, what are you betting?
I'm probably not betting this fight, man. I don't really think this is a big step up in competition. I think it's pretty much on par with what he's been fighting already. So I think it's a close fight where it could be a toss up either way, and we see him get the nod because we're over in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, simple as that. Go with the not the hometown favorite, but the hometown favorite.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Kick it back to Mike.
I just
Mike's got his hand up.
there we go.
Okay, yeah, okay. So like I was saying, highest this is the highest level he's faced so far. The over is a really good bet because it seems like they can both take whatever they give out. And I believe Petrosyan is a dog. I don't think he's going away. I think Shara Bullet's very elusive. So if things get a little bit too uncomfortable for him, he will be able to stay safe. But Shara really is special, man. When I saw his fights outside the UFC, I was like, wow, I can't wait to see him in the UFC. But when I'm breaking down the tape for him fights in the UFC, I think he's doing a lot better than people are giving him credit for. I just think they expect a little bit more highlight reel knockouts, and he's just not delivering on those expectations. But the dude is good, very fast. He will have the speed advantage in this fight. His kicks are like punches, faster than punches. I believe that speed and his movement is just going to be way too much for Petrosyan, but Petrosyan is going to be able to stay in that fight. Right now, I believe he's like let me see, he's like a minus 150 now, I believe, or 146, and the price just keeps getting lower. Look, I'm telling you guys, if the price gets lower, bet him money line. Shara is the side here. But if you want to pick like a for sure bet, the over's the bet. Both of these guys are going to be in that fight, and it's going to be a banger.
I'd be interested to see what the split decision prop in this fight would be, because I feel like this is, like I said, this is one of those where we see Shara might have a dominant performance, or we might see where he struggles and he gets the judges nod because, like I said, being a hometown favorite. I don't know if Usman has it in front of him or if Usman's at his computer right now, but I would be interested to know what that split prop looks like on that fight.
Split is goes to split is plus 275. Either fighter by split, you're getting Shara at plus 550 and Petrosyan at plus 650.
That sounds like the books agree with me then. I am Saturday.
Man,
What
I
do you
had
what
to
do you
walk.
got, my man?
I'm actually weirdly all over Petrosyan. Sorry, Mike. Yeah, dude. I think Petrosyan's fought the better competition within the UFC. I think he has really good control against the fence. Shara got controlled the entire third round against Bruno Silva, who doesn't have good grappling, and Petrosyan's displayed really solid. Not really so, but solid grappling, proficient enough grappling, better grappling than Bruno Silva is my point here. And I think if he can force a fight against the fence, do solid work in the clinch, and then force takedowns either later in the rounds or just late in the fight, he'll wear on Shara. Both really good strikers in their own right, but I kind of like the value on plus 140 for Petrosyan right now, as he's more credentialed in the UFC, and definitely hate the fact that it's in Abu Dhabi though. That crowd and judging will definitely go towards Shara.
I'm
Yeah,
actually I'm pretty much on the same page as you. I'm Saturday. That's why I was kind of leaning towards the split decision on why I was asking about it. So I do think like the grappling could be an issue.
So yeah, I 100% agree with Saturday. I'm bringing something up really quick. I don't normally do this during card, but capmma.com, you can type somebody's name into the top search bar, click cards, and see all of the available scorecards for them. So for whatever it's worth, versus Leroy Duncan, he only won the third round. Petrosyan only won the third round. He won the first and second round on all the judges' scorecards. He lost the third on two of their cards. Against Kaio, he won only the third round on one judge's scorecard. Against Dobson, he won all three rounds on all three judges' scorecards. Against Gregory Rodriguez, he won all 3 rounds on one judge's scorecard, lost round 3 on 2 judges' scorecard, and then the second round was a split that went his way on the scorecards. The reason I look at that is my issue is Shara's gas. He doesn't have gas. It's not there. We all want it to be. We want him to be, at least if you're a fan, you want him to have the gas tank we all prayed that Chimaev had. But he doesn't. He doesn't. He straight up fucking doesn't. So I don't know. I guess I did think that Petrosyan, I thought I was going to see a little bit better numbers for him when I looked up those scorecards in the later rounds. I don't know. I still think it might be a good time to fade Shara Bullet by decision. Just my opinion. Usman, get after it.
Yeah, so I picked Bruno Silva. I picked Michal Oleksiejczuk, and in that fight, Shara even won me over a little bit. I thought he looked his career best, or at least in the UFC, against Michal. But the fade train keeps rolling. Armen Petrosyan made me some good money against CDF or whatever the fuck his name is, Leroy Duncan. And we're going to make some good money on some dog odds against Shara. We're fading his ass.
It's the day, huh? It's the day.
Don't be disappointed again, bro.
It's always the day when it comes to Shara. Look, I'll say the only thing I dislike, because I have seen some takes for people that are backing up Petrosyan. A lot of people putting a lot of effort into the grappling of Armen Petrosyan, and I think he's just going to stand and bang. I don't think he's going to grapple at all.
Yeah,
Yeah, if anything, his striking fluidity is better because Shara doesn't really throw that many combos. Petrosyan is like constant combos, and it's not just one dimensional. He misses everything and very fluid.
Yeah, and if he's able to keep it on the inside with Shara, that becomes a problem for Shara because he's not as good with the hands as he is with his legs. So, boxing for sure, Petrosyan.
I definitely think like CLD is. I don't want to say he's a better striker. He's definitely equivalent, if not like in the conversation for like being a pure striker with Shara. Like both guys have very elite kickboxing. And I think the movement of CLD is just a little bit better. And Petrosyan in that fight did well to I already said this, not to beat a dead horse, but to force the fight against the fence and to get it to the ground. I do agree that like UFC is always looking for guys to stand and bang and make entertaining fights. But in this case, I just think putting that name under your belt would obviously skyrocket Petrosyan. So I don't think he fucks around here. I do think we see grappling at some point. I gotta hop off, boys. This is awesome. I'll see you guys.
Yep, thanks for the man. You have a good one. Yeah, Joe, what we got next, brother?
So just real quick before we move on, is at some point we are going to have to understand that Shara's right eye is visually compromised.
There's a reason he only fights in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, he's likely blind in that eye.
Has it hindered him though?
Yes. And you're going to see it continue to. Yes, it has. Actually, if you go watch tape on him, you'll actually see that he fights a little different. And if you want to be, your bias is always going to be what you like. So you could look at him and be like, yeah, look, he turns his head so that he keeps vision and he's able to see what everybody else sees. No, he's not. No, he's not able to. Yes, he has to fight with his head at angles to see better. Yes, you can see it if you're looking for it. No, it's not hard to spot if you're looking for it. The point where he gets to a striking level that they can just beat the fucking brakes off of him because they can't take him down. It's got to come. and I'm not hating on the guy. His takedowns are not. I'll say this: his takedowns aren't as good as I thought they were going to be. And I don't. Well, by gonna be meaning I knew who he was before he hit the UFC, and I would say since the UFC, since his UFC debut, he's probably been probably one of the guys that I was most excited about that I'm probably most disappointed in. I don't know, man. I think that he's probably a top 15, top 10 guy, but I don't think he ever gets there. And I think once he hits the true top 7, top 6, I don't think he beats any of those guys. I don't even know who they are. It doesn't matter,
Yeah, I mean,
figuratively
he
speaking.
very much has a ceiling cap because of his eye. People will bring up Bisping, and I'm a huge Bisping fan, or I was for his fight career, anyways.
But
But
being lost that sight over time in the octagon, Trace.
well, it's not even that. It's we were at a point in the middleweight division at that time where we were aging out of the era. Like Luke Rockhold, Chris Weidman, all those guys were coming to the end of their careers because of their age. So when Bisping won that belt, it wasn't a super competitive time. And let's be honest, Luke Rockhold overlooked him and didn't give him the respect he deserved and got caught because of it. But apples to oranges, it's not comparable. Like Shara can only go so far because he's only going to be a better striker than people for so long. And once he gets up there to a person who's at least as competent as he is a striker, that eye becomes a real liability.
Yeah, and I would say they don't even have to be as competent as him. So, like, that's why I bring it up, because at some point we're going to be like, oh, this was the cap. I thought it was up there, but it's really, I guess it's down here. Yeah, I don't know, man. Even Petrosyan, who I don't think is a phenomenal fucking striker, but if Petrosyan can stuff 2 takedowns and walk forward, Shara won't know what to do, especially if he can walk forward circling left.
Do you think Shara's
Nobody
going to
really
try to
does
wrestle?
that. Yeah. Yes, I do. And I don't think it takes very long for it to happen either. Yeah, I don't think Shara's going to have a striking edge at all. If he thinks he's gonna go in there and win this fight that way, I think that he'll be mistaken. And if he's gonna go in there and depend on those leg kicks are becoming readable. They're becoming readable to a guy who just watches fights. And the reason they're becoming readable, go watch the fight, is because his body has to be positioned certain ways to see correctly. So it's not that I necessarily, when you're like, oh, here comes the kick, but you can almost see him checking for it. You can almost see him checking for what he can't see. And it doesn't necessarily tell you what's coming, but it's a kick. I mean, like, if it's a kick. It's always a kick coming. He thinks he's fucking Superman with a kick because he can keep his distance because of sight. And while I'm not super duper high on Armen Petrosyan, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Petrosyan beats him. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all, man. I think the over is a good play. And if I do any dog parlay, and a dog parlay for me is usually 2 dogs, maybe 3 if I'm actually like, man, I think these guys could all legit do it. I think Petrosyan is a play for me if I do a dog couple or whatever you want to call it, man. I'm having a hard time. I've watched Shara fight in the UFC. I just don't think he's that great. I'm babbling about this one because it's one we can. You boys ready to move on?
Shara the GOAT, man.
All right. Up next, Dan Ige and Lerone Murphy. Ige plus 205, Murphy minus 263. Over at 2.5 minus 300. The under, why is that line all? Why does the site look all fucked up right now? Oh, it's just that line. What the fuck? And sorry, guys. The over 2.5 is minus 300. The under 2.5 is plus 240. There is definitely a reason on that. Yeah, there's definitely a reason on that for that over being set the way it is because it's probably going over. Um, I don't know, man. I think a lot of people are gonna want to bet on Dan Ige, but if I'm being honest, I expected to see Lerone Murphy at minus 400. So I think Lerone is a good parlay piece right here. I like Dan. I hope his old ass can pull something off, but I'm probably betting against him in a parlay. Trace, what are you
Hold on,
playing?
hold on. That's the biggest lie you've ever told. I don't even know your
What?
whole life, but that's the biggest lie you've ever told. You like Dan? You do not like Dan Ige, you fucking liar.
What do you mean?
You've never said one good thing about Dan Ige. Every single time we've come in here and we've broken down a Dan Ige fight, you've said, I don't even know why the fuck his name is 50K. That guy can't put nobody to sleep. Dan Ige is gonna fucking lose. Dan Ige don't win shit. You have never said one good thing about Dan Ige.
Did I say anything good about him today?
You said you liked him, and I know
Where the
that for
fuck
a
did you get
fact
that
is not
recording of
true.
Joe? That was a awesome recording you had of Joe.
It was. I think it was on this. How did you get these audio buttons to work, and how did you get me on these audio
Hey,
buttons? I don't know how you did
Got the
we've
that.
sound
been
bar
top.
going.
We've been in the space for the past 3 years. I know y'all. I know y'all like the damn back of my hand, and this guy saying he likes Dan Ige. Yeah, right. Go ahead, Trace.
I just meant he was a nice guy, bro. He's not a good fighter. What the fuck?
Yeah,
He
next thing
probably
he'll be
beat
saying he likes
Magomed.
Alex Volkanovski too.
Yeah, I'll never say that stupid. Listen, though, he is the fucking social media goat. Fuck that. We don't got to take the detour. Alexander Volkanovski is my favorite fighter on social media. I absolutely hate him if he is on Countdown. I absolutely hate him if he is on Embedded. I absolutely hate him if he is fighting. I absolutely hate him if he's doing an interview about fighting. But on social media, he's my favorite. Math that,
Once you
motherfuckers.
marry him
Math
already.
that. Math that. What are you playing on the Ige fight there, Trace?
No, I agree with you. I think it's a decision. Probably should take the over. Don't make it simple. Not much value on the favorite here, so just take the over.
Man, but do you think how would so I just asked for your comment. I'm asking for your comment. You think it's lined where it should be?
Sorry, look at the line right now.
Lerone is minus 260 and it's 200 ish.
Yeah, I mean he struggled with wrestling in the past. Lerone Murphy's, I mean, not just got good wrestling. He's a complete well-rounded fighter and hold his own on the feet as well in the grappling. And I'm sure we see him try to exploit the grappling here. He probably tries to take Dan down, hold him down, and beat him up a little bit. Maybe try to get it finished late, but yeah, I think we see a dominant performance from Lerone Murphy here. Decision, over.
Agreed. Usman, what are you doing on this fight?
Honestly, I can't really add much more. I think Trace hit it. I'm on Lerone. Lerone by decision over. I do think he's going to bring the wrestling into it, and yeah, that's about it. We're going Lerone Murphy.
Yeah, seems pretty easy play. Mike, what are you playing?
Hey man, I've been saying Lerone Murphy special for a long time now, and I believe he's going to be able to showcase it against Dan Ige because it's the range and his timing, and not to mention the wrestling. I mean, I think all that is just going to be a big problem for Dan Ige, but I think Dan Ige is tough enough to finish the fight, not like finish him, but make it go to a decision. So I think the over is the best play.
I'm not mad at that either. I'm a over under type guy, so that should Goes fine with me every time. What fight is next on this card? It is. Oh, fuck. Aleksandar Rakic and Magomed Ankalaev. Ankalaev is minus. I'm not even there yet, but I already know. -4. Okay, my bad. I thought it would be 4 something. -385. Rakic is +286. Those are the averages. 31 books. This fucking fight has been posted for 79 days. This shit posted the same day they posted Ilya and Chimaev. Fuck this fight. The over is set at 2.5 -180. The under 2.5 +160. Yeah, I mean, Ankalaev's gonna win easy. I don't fucking care to see it. Trace, what are you betting?
Ankalaev over. Ankalaev by decision. I don't even know if you need to fiddle with the split on this one. It's probably going to be a boring point fight with Ankalaev kicking the legs a lot. Yeah, it's going to be an Ankalaev fight, unfortunately. So we're looking at the decision prop and probably unanimous decision.
I don't even feel like Rakic has a chance. I know he probably does, but man.
I don't know. I see a lot
How
of
many
Rakic
people do you?
tickets.
Same. I've seen a lot of people do that, but they're not really smartly defending him. They're just saying he shouldn't be a +300, and that's their only reasoning. So it's a dumb bet.
That's what I was just
It's a
gonna say,
value boy
bro. You
world, guys.
probably just seeing it because it's +275. You start getting people +300. You know, they're on everything at +300, unless it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, whatever. Usman, what are you betting?
Y'all know the game, guys. Y'all know the game. No matter
Over.
how much of a lock you think Magomed Ankalaev is, I'm here to tell y'all, please, please don't play it. Don't play it, guys. You don't have to. -360, you don't have to. Hit the over. Aleksandar Rakic is going to win this fight. Can I tell you how? No. But that's just the way these things go. Do not play this fight. Do not put it on your parlay. Do not put any money on Magomed Ankalaev because you will be sitting here with a thumb up your ass saying, "What the fuck did I just watch?" It's going to happen. Banana
Every
peel.
Ankalaev fight.
Man, not an Abu Dhabi, bro. We good.
Oh, I'm not saying robbery. Anything can happen. Banana peel, injury, fucking disqualification. Just watch. Just watch. And
Dana
you'll
doesn't like you.
just watch. It's going to happen, guys.
Yeah, I was gonna ask how many times you think they make Rakic defend the #1 contender spot while AP reigns as champion, because they're not letting him fight fucking AP. And I don't even think it's because they're so sure that he'll beat AP. I just think they know he's got the best shot and he's the most boring motherfucker in the division. Why did Usman leave from being a co-host? Is he quitting the space?
No, bro, it fucking kicked me out again. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Tired of your shit.
It's probably Trace. Aussie, get after it.
Yeah, this is one. I think Rakic has a little bit better chance than his line suggests here. I think if it goes 15 minutes on the feet, it's probably going to be close. Rakic's going to land a lot of leg kicks. The only issue I have is Ankalaev has already been leg kicked a lot in his fights, and he's survived all right. But Rakic is really good. He can beat up the inside and the outside of that lead leg, and every guy he's fought, they've had to switch stances, man. He really chews it up. So, yeah, I'm hoping maybe he can do some early damage and then manage to somehow win round 2 or 3 as well. But like you were saying, the UFC would love nothing better than for Ankalaev to shit the bed here. Even if Ankalaev wins a boring decision, that's all the ammunition they need to not give him a shot. You know, they would much rather put Jamal Hill back in there or something like that. That's probably going to sell a lot better than Ankalaev. And the worst thing that can happen is Ankalaev replaces your highest monetary fighter that you've had all year. So yeah, they definitely want to keep that belt where it is, and maybe Rakic can go out here and do them that favor. So fingers crossed Rakic gets it. I just got a little bet on him just to win a unit. I'm hoping something crazy happens and he gets it done.
I mean, I'm not mad at it because nobody wants Ankalaev to win anyway.
Shit, I do.
He'll
I
probably be
do.
telling you parlayed the
Hell
shit out of
yeah,
him, huh,
nigga.
baby? Yeah, I ain't mad at you.
B
I
baby
ain't
said
mad at you,
minus
bro.
650. Let me get it.
Let me stack that on top of this other shit and make it plus 200.
Hey,
Excuse
D
bitch.
me.
baby, D baby, why do you have Ankalaev?
Man, honestly, man, I'm not about to overthink shit, man. Motherfuckers be overthinking shit, man. We ain't Abu Dhabi, man. I don't know. Ain't no way I'm fake no Russians in Abu Dhabi, man. It's simple as that. I don't give a fuck about all that leg kick shit.
Not against no motherfucking Rakic, because Rakic ain't the one, bro.
Motherfuckers. Now go
If it
ahead,
was,
Joe.
I was gonna say, if it was some high profile guy or something, he was fighting in Israel at Asanya or something, you might be like, all right, he could lose, but I'm with D baby, bro. You ain't seeing Ankalaev drop a fucking L to fucking Rakic in Abu Dhabi, bro. That's not going
Like same, I mean, cause I know this even with the other fights, like even with the Shara Bullet. I mean, honestly, I got the over on another play, but yeah, I could have left that shit alone. But even if I wanted to fade Shara Bullet, nigga, there's no way I'm fading this nigga over in Abu Dhabi. Like I'm keeping it simple, bros. Like fuck all that analytic shit. Like this Petrosyan got a chance. He's more technical,
You gotta remember though,
huh?
baby. He's probably only gonna fight in Abu Dhabi and Saudi Arabia. That's it. He probably ain't fighting nowhere
See,
else.
that's what I'm saying. Like who could fade him in Abu Dhabi? Like, I mean, maybe Petrosyan is the
Bro,
guy, but
we still talk about this shitty ass fight.
no, I'm just saying, like I'm really talking about Ankalaev, but I'm just saying, like I mean, like my point is, man, ain't no way I'm fading no Russian on Abu Dhabi territory.
I ain't mad at you, bro, unless they're fighting a dude from the Arab Emirates, then you better start
Unless they're
questioning that
fighting
shit.
Rocky Balboa. That's the only time you question it.
Rocky Balboa beat your motherfucking ass. Up next is Khamzat Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker. Minus 256 for Chimaev. Plus 200 for Bobby Knuckles on the averages. 32 books, 79 days. The over 2.5. It says 2.5. I don't know if that's right. Minus 105. The under minus 125. Trace, you posted a bet in the team room earlier. Or I don't know where the fuck you posted it. You might have put it on your timeline. I swear to you, man to man, heart to heart, I was thinking of the same bet, bro, where you bet Bobby Knuckles 3, 4, 5 or decision. I was just thinking 4 or 5 or decision, but 3 is probably a good cover.
No, yeah,
Then you
I
took
got 4 or
Max.
5 decision.
Okay. And then you got Max 4 or 5 or decision on a parlay, like plus 2,300. Bro, I was sincerely thinking of that earlier today. I was trying to think to myself, bro, can Max finish him or is it just decision? Like I was literally trying to reason that out because I'm going to get a little bit better odds for just decision probably. So I was trying to reason
Yeah,
that
honestly,
out.
it
And I
wasn't much better. I got plus 360 for Max, and then it being like his decision prop was like plus 400, so only like 40 cents difference on the dollar. Yeah, I thought it was great because that was my worry for both these fights is that the finish can come rounds 4 or 5 after round 3. So I wanted to kind of cover both ends. But yeah, we'll go back to your breakdown.
No, I think 5 rounds is Robert Whittaker melts Khamzat Chimaev. I have no other words. He is going to fucking melt
Brother,
him.
I have waited. We were talking about this fight, what was it, like 4 or 5 months ago when it was first booked. And I was on the island then. So it's kind of funny to see it turn around because I was on the island for the first fight when it was booked. And then I was on an island for when he fought was it Ismail? What's his name?
You're talking about. I know who you're talking about. Ikram
Ikram
Aleksandar.
Aleksandar. Like I was on an island up whenever I was on Ikram too. But like, man, I just feel like this is it's a dangerous fight. Don't get me wrong, but Khabib has 1 round, 2 rounds of like real finishing upside before he runs into a cardio wall, and then it is just we're going to start seeing Bobby when he goes in for the clinch work on Bobby. We're going to see him peel away and start landing combinations and jabs after the breakaway. Start punishing him for every mistake that he makes. Man, I was telling Mike in the group chat earlier today that I would not be surprised if we see him wrap that leg around that shoulder and get that head kick over the ear. He's sneaky with it, and once we see Khamzat start to slow down from exhaustion, he's not going to be clean. He's the kind of fighter that once he gets tired, he gets super sloppy, and you can't get sloppy with Bobby. I think Bobby tears him up, man. I think we see KO round 3, probably round 4 or 5 for sure. But I would not be surprised if it happens in round 3. Like I said, I did take the 4-5er decision because I'm kind of worried about him getting the finish before the time runs out. But I played that like that, so I lose a little bit of value on the finish props. But I also ran the KO round 3, 4, 5 on FanDuel at plus I think it was like plus 1,600 or something like that. And I really do like that bet. But so I do hope that hits, because if it does, especially in round 4 or 5, then both those parlays are still open. I thought it was a pretty sick way to play it. But yeah, man, I'm all over Bobby Knuckles to win by. I'm gonna go round 4 KO.
Man, I was trying to keep track of all the way. I was listening to what you were saying, and I was trying to look up some odds at the same time. Yeah, I like it, man. So my biggest fear, to be honest, and I know some people are going to be like, "Well, now you're getting ridiculous with it," is that Whittaker knocks him out in the second.
See, I do think Bob. Like I said, Robert's not going to rush, man. He's going to shoot the takedowns, and even if he gets Whittaker down, Whittaker is hard to keep down. Like for one, Whittaker has very good takedown defense, but even if you do get him down, he's hard to keep down. So it's not like you get him down and he stays down. As soon as he goes down, he is rolling to get back up again. He's constantly moving. He doesn't settle for bottom. Like he is going to fight Khabib Khamzat the entire process of the takedown.
I don't even think that Chimaev gets him down, and if he does, bro, he won't keep him there. If he does, it won't be like you're saying. He's not going to take him down and control him. Bobby Knuckles be right back up.
And another thing is Bobby's a good wrestler himself. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we see Bobby whenever Khamzat gets a little tired, just to kind of get completely get all the danger and threat out if he pursues the takedown eventually in this fight. Like, dude, this is like Alex. I was very, very heavy on this fight from the get go. I feel like this is a very, very clear Bobby Knuckles fight, and I think this is another one just like last week, man. I took Rob Font plus 750 by points, man. Nobody was giving him a chance. Like we have not seen a regression from Robert Whittaker at all. Like he's gotten caught by arguably one of the most dominant middleweight champions. There could be one of the most dominant middleweight champions when it's said and done in Dricus du Plessis. I mean, this is the guy's like a destroyer. Like the guys he's lost to are elite fighters. Israel. Like he's not getting beat by bums. Like elites beat him. And I just don't think Khamzat's elite because I don't think his cardio is elite. Like, you got to be more than a finisher and to be a champion. You got to be able to, whenever you can't get the finish, what do you do then? And I don't think he has a game plan. I think he is seek and destroy until he's tired. And once he's tired, Whittaker is not going to let off of him. Yeah, well, I'm beating a dead horse now. Mike, what do you got on this fight, brother?
Look, I'm glad this fight got rescheduled because I was on Cosmo before because of just because of the wrestling dominance. But the one thing I was able to just see clearly is just the striking level. Like Robert Whittaker is just on a whole nother level when it comes to striking, opposed to Khamzat. Now, I kind of don't agree with your take on or Joe's take when it comes to what's going to happen early in the fight. I honestly do think Kazmat's going to take him down. I think Kazmat is very strong, and I believe he is going to control him, and Robert is going to have to survive that first round. The second round, up for debate. Like you said, he's a really good wrestler himself, and I think he's going to be able to hold his own after round one. Because round one, I think, is when Chimaev is at his strongest, and I believe he can really finish Whittaker in that first round. I just don't think it will happen. After
My
that, though, yeah,
my only argument to that is that people forget how strong of a wrestler that oh shit, I can't think of his name right now. The Cuban guy that was middleweight champion, fought for Bellator for a while too. How
Romero.
good? Yeah, Romero, how good he was as a wrestler too. I mean, we're talking about a Olympian, so like he's fought high caliber wrestlers too. But I don't disagree with you. He is a force in that first round.
Yeah, they do, and it's not just the power; it's his technique. He really knows how to control his opponents when he's on the ground, using his arms and his legs to control their arms and legs and attack their balance before they even try to get up. So he's going to get taken down. Whitaker's going to have a hard time getting up because Chimaev knows what he's doing. But after that, because he's going to have to work so hard to control him, it's just going to be hard to do it in the second round. I still think he does it in the second round, but after round two, you'll see the technique and just everything when it comes to Chimaev striking just go out the window, and he's just going to try to make you feel his power. That's not going to work on Robert Whittaker. That dude is very elusive, very fast, and he knows how to get in and out. And like you said, that high kick is set up so beautifully, and it's crazy that like it's coming, but there is nothing you can do about it. And that's what's
Yeah,
going to happen to Chimaev.
no
Chimaev
one
is going
wraps it.
to, yeah, go ahead.
No one wraps it better.
Yeah, and it's timed so perfectly behind that left hand, or is it? Yeah. So it's a right high kick, right? He throws a right high kick. Am
Yeah,
I
yeah.
tripping?
It's his
Yeah,
right.
it's
It's
a
his
right
right.
high
It
kick.
comes after the left. It comes after his left hook.
Yeah. So I believe he's gonna get knocked out. I believe he's gonna get knocked out. But even though the high kick is a probable way to go out, I believe it's the left hook, man. The way he slips under his opponent's punches, or just tricks them while he's changing levels and comes right up and delivers that left hook. I think Chimaev is going down in probably round 4 or 5.
I love to hear it.
I see some hands up, but I want to hop in
I just
for a
want to
second
throw
on
one more
something
thing
Mike
on it.
said.
The only thing that would make
Go
a
ahead.
huge difference in this fight, I would be on Khamzat if this was a 3-round fight. If this was a 3-round fight, it's completely different. Like that, those 2 rounds, it's hard to come back. Like I said, I agree with you on the late round stoppage. That's why I think in a 3-round fight, Robert might win the third, but those first 2 rounds probably go to Khamzat.
Well, and I also want to say that if Chimaev tries to pace himself for a 5-round fight, um, that favors Bobby even more. Um, if Chimaev's like, whoa, we got 5 rounds just in case. I'm not going to go out there and blow my whole load because we seen that I was super tired against Gilbert Burns, who is smaller and not as strong as Chimaev or as Whittaker. So I'm going to pace myself. That favors Bobby too. That'll give Bobby a chance to get off early. And Mike said he thinks it's the hook. I think it's the straight. I think it's the straight followed by a hook, sure. But I think it's the stuff, push, and then straight punch that hurts Chimaev. And Bobby is very good at stuff, push, straight fucking punch.
And if he slows it
I
down, like
think
you're
that,
saying, then that's whenever you're going footwork for footwork with Bobby, and Khamzat cannot go footwork for footwork with Bobby. He has to rush him and he has to get inside. So I agree with you.
yeah, yeah. Like there's this is, I'm I think this is a lot tougher fight for Chimaev than even the books are crediting it for. I see some hands up. Let's get those real quick. Connor J, get after it, bud.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with what everybody said. I'm picking Robert, especially what Trace was saying. I'm not confident with Khamzat right now, especially after all the health problems he's had and the things that put him on the sideline. So I'm picking Robert, maybe by quick decision, just outlasting him. But I could see a late round finish, 4 or 5, maybe even 3, depending on how hard Chimaev comes out. I don't really see him pacing himself. I think he fights one way, and I don't think he's going to try to switch it up now. But the real reason I needed to come on the mic is because Trey said that Duplessis could be the most dominant champion in the middleweight division ever. He's not getting past Silva. Silva, 10-pound offensive, wrecking dudes. I just need to nip that in the butt. He's not overtaking Anderson Silva. So
100% fair. 100% fair. I do stand corrected. Cade, what do you got, brother?
Yo, can you guys hear me? I was having
Yes, sir.
problems with my mic earlier. I don't know if you guys could tell. I was having a request. But anyways, yeah, look, man, I got a lot of love and respect for your guys' takes, man. But I actually got a bet on Khamzat. I got him a couple weeks ago. He was minus 162. He's already got bet up to minus 250. Yeah, man, I just think this is a really bad stylistic matchup for Rob. And I think if you want to look at it for Rob, it's like 4 and 5. Those are the rounds he's probably going to win. Maybe round 3, depending on if Chimaev gas is that bad. But I just think he's going to wrestle fuck Rob. He's going to hold him against the fence for the whole fight. I don't think Rob has an answer for it. I don't think he's ever going to get the space that he needs to let his hands go like he needs to knock Chimaev out, unless it's in the 4th or 5th round when Chimaev's gassed, if it gets there. But I just think Chimaev's going to be too strong for Rob, and I think he's going to hold him wherever the fuck he wants, bro. And I know that's a not a popular take, but I just can see it happening, bro. Like Chimaev fights like that guy just is nonstop. But like it is a 5-round fight, so I'm not surprised if he gets knocked out in the 4th or 5th round. That won't like catch me by guard at all. Rob is like that. He's a legend. But I just think for the first 3 rounds, I don't know. I think it's all Chimaev, and then play it by ear after that. But I don't know. I just think that Chimaev is just yeah. I think he's gonna fucking dominate the fight. That's just my opinion, though. I think he's gonna wrestle
So,
fucking.
So
Mr. Morehouse, what is Khamzat's plans for the footwork? If you can't track him down to shoot a takedown, how do you get him down?
Has Chimaev ever needed footwork to dude? He's gonna start that fight in the first
I'm
10
not talking
seconds
about, but
and
I'm not talking about his footwork. I'm talking about dealing with Rob's. The closest striker that he's had since he's been in the UFC's who? Motormouth, Big Mouth, whatever the hell his name is. Kevin Lee
I
or not
mean
Kevin Lee, Kevin
Holland.
Holland. Like, yeah, he buzzsawed through him, dude. Do you know what Robert Whittaker would do to Gilbert Burns if they fought? He would fuck Gilbert Burns up so quick. Like Gilbert would never be able to go to the kind of war that he did with Khamzat because clean precision striking. Man, I'm telling you,
yeah, but I don't even
save your
think
bet, man.
Rob's
Save
gonna
your
That's
get
money.
that's
he's not
welterweight.
gonna get he's
Welterweight.
not gonna get the space for that though, bro. Like I'm telling you, like Chimaev, bro, yes, he gasses out, so I understand that. But it's like, bro, even Kamaru, who's an elite, he's been known for his wrestling. And yeah, Kamaru's a little past his prime. And I honestly, if that fight would have went 4 and 5, it would have got real interesting. But Chimaev controlled the fuck out of him. Like, why do we not think that he's going to be able to go do that to Robert Whittaker? Like
Because he was fighting into his fighting style
and
because
and
their fight style is the
and
wrestling.
Robert fucking
Bro,
melted.
you're saying he controlled who?
He controlled Kamaru for the whole first round easily. Wasn't even close for 5 minutes. Controlled the fuck out of him.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Gilbert
No, not
Burns.
Burns, Kamaru. But like what I'm saying is that like Chimaev fights at a high pace, and Duplessis went in there and put a pace on Robert Whittaker, and that fight didn't last very long. So, like, are we not? Are we saying Chimaev can't do the same thing? I mean, that's just my question
Well,
because
I don't know if you can make the comparison to DDP. Now, I'm not going to disprove your point. I actually agree with you. But the DDP thing, Robert Whittaker was doing good in the first round. He just got caught trying to take him down, and DDP took him down. And then he timed the jab because he read Robert Whittaker's entry. So Whittaker just ran into a good straight punch. I don't think that's going to
But
be
are we
Shemaev.
saying that that can't happen against Khamzat?
No,
Different
I think
levels of
Shemaev.
striking.
Yeah, different levels of striking, but Chimaev is going to be able to charge him. I think as soon as Chimaev grabs him, he's taking him down for the first 2 rounds. But I think what we're all in agreement with is that Chimaev will gas, and Robert Whittaker will be able to drop him in those later rounds because of his striking level. He's just a better striker than Khamzat, and he has a better cardio when it comes to those 4 or 5 rounds because he still keeps his speed, his timing, and his movement. None of that fades in rounds 4 or 5. But
Yeah,
I
I
understand
think
your
if the
bet.
fight goes to the fourth round, then all of you guys have very valid points. Like that fight is going to get very interesting, and it's going to favor probably Robert Whittaker. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to discredit the rest. I mean, this just seems like that typical wrestler versus striker matchup. Hamzat is levels above Rob in the grappling department. I don't care what anybody says. And Rob
Yeah,
is probably way better than him in the it's not probably. He's better than him in the way better than him in the striking department. So like to me it's like that wrestler versus striker matchup. And if it gets to the later rounds, of course, yes, it favors Robert Whittaker. But
hey, I understand your bet.
will it
Actually,
get there?
that's a good price,
Will it get there?
165, right?
What'd you say?
You say you got him at 165?
162.
160. See, I'm not. I can't be mad at that. That's a good bet because I agree with you. He could definitely win 3 of those rounds and just tough out the rounds 4 and 5. We're just on two. We I think we're seeing the same thing happening. We're just seeing it 2 different outcomes. Like we believe Whitaker is going to get the knockout. You believe he's going to get the decision.
One more question for you then. If you believe he gets the decision, I mean, it goes one of two ways. He's either going to get to finish rounds 1, 2, or 3, or he, like you said, he survives it to a decision. Why not just put some on the finish round 1, 2, or 3 on FanDuel and then take the decision prop because you're going to get so much more value. You're talking about value, but like you're going to get so much more bang for your buck by doing that rather than playing the money line straight up because that is his win conditions. I don't think he really has a chance of a finish after round 3. Honestly, really, I don't think he has much for a finish after round 2. But that's kind of hedging both ways, especially
I
if you're really adamant on him winning the fight.
I gotta look at the props. I really just saw the 162 number and thought that that was gonna get shot up, which it did. But
Oh yeah.
I mean, like I said, I don't think like obviously Rob is better than Chimaev striking, but like I don't think that Chimaev is just some bum in the striking department. Like he has a very high accuracy. He lands his punches. Like he even has a. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
obviously
you
Rob's
know
had more
that's
octagon time, but he's landed higher percentage of punches than Rob
you
does.
know
So
why
like,
though, right? That's ground and pound.
yeah,
That's
I
not
mean,
that's
he
not that's not
fights.
striking at distance.
But I just think Hamzat fights at a high pace. I don't know. That's just the way I see the fight personally. But if it gets to the fourth and fifth round, of course, I'm gonna be sitting there sweating my ass off because it is what it is at that point.
Okay,
But
well, this ain't the first time we disagreed. I'll be in there next week or this weekend, shaking your hand if I'm wrong. You know how it is. Connor,
So I would just like to say, no, go ahead, let Connor go. Go ahead, let
we
Connor
still
go.
got to get it to Usman and Ozzy too. We still got other people that haven't had takes in this fight.
Let him go. Let him go.
Yeah, I just want to combat a few things. I don't really agree with his assessment, but I mean, like, fair play. When he brought up the Dricus fight, like, he got the first round, Dricus went for like a women's, like, head toss. It was like one of those drunken master Dricus sort of bumbling idiot takedowns that he does. Like, I don't know. And then, yeah, he got pounded out in that first round, but he got caught in the second. Like, that, he was doing fine in that fight until he got caught. And then, yeah, we've seen Khamzat come out and like control guys like Usman in the first round, and he fights at a high pace, like you're saying, Cade. But sometimes when he fights with that high pace against good competition or elite competition that we've seen, like Gilbert and Usman, it almost becomes like a detriment to him because those 2 and 3 rounds, especially in the Gilbert fight, that fight was like super close. And then the third round of the Usman fight, like Usman was winning that fight. So like Khamzat is the much better grappler than Robert. We all know that, but is he a better grappler than like Yoel Romero? Because Romero went 10 rounds with Robert, trying to take him down multiple times, and Robert stuffed him a good amount of those. So I think that he's fought a guy like Khamzat, and I think this needs to weather that first round. And after that, it's really up in the air. Just like who's going to outlast who. And I just feel like Robert's going to be the guy that can outlast him. And that's just my take.
All valid points, and I got one more thing a couple more things I want to add, but who else needs to get on the mic, Trace? I can't see the hand.
Usman and Ozzy. So who they're Usman, kick it off.
So, I went and I told y'all last time, man, when this fight was first announced, I was on Robert Whittaker. I think people underrate his grappling. He is an Olympic level wrestler. We just, he didn't get the opportunity to show that because of Dana. Um, you even look at his control times, and only 3 people have taken him. Oh, 2 people have taken him over 1 minute of control time, and that is Yoel Romero, who got 5 minutes and 4 minutes on him, and Derek Brunson, who got a whole minute on him. But I don't think the footwork or anything is going to come into play for Robert Whittaker. I think we're going to see um, one in the first round, second round. Uh, Khamzat is just going to charge him and get him down. You see him just dive at the legs, sometimes shoot from super far away, and then just be able to turn angles or chain it into a second takedown attempt and be able to get that top position. So I think I was on Robert Whittaker last time, and I would love for him to win, but you know that thing like 99 out of 100 times a certain fighter is supposed to win. I think this is that next time. Like Robert Whittaker was going to win the first time, Khamzat is going to win this time, and it's going to be a long shot. But at Khamzat Chimaev by decision at plus 600 to control him for the first 3 rounds, and then maybe lose the fourth and fifth, maybe even get a little draw at plus 6,600. I like those 2 plays. Over under set at 2.5 rounds. I think that's a pretty good play as well too at minus 105. If Khamzat doesn't roll over him, minus 105 is pretty good.
I can't disagree. Well, yeah. Ozzy, get after it.
Yeah, I liked Rob in a 3-round fight. I love him in a 5-round fight. You know, this guy, this is just another fight for Rob. It's the biggest opportunity that Khamzat's had. This is another fight for Rob. He's been in these spots before. Championship fights, 5-round fights, nothing's new. He's got to worry about the wrestling. He's had to worry about the wrestling in almost every fight he's had. Everyone tries to take this guy down. You know, there's been 70 attempted takedowns on Whittaker, and he's defended 58 of them. That's insane. He's only been taken down 12 times, and 7 of those were against Romero, Olympian, massive brick shithouse of a bloke. You know, I do expect him to get taken down. I don't expect him to get held down. I think he's going to get back up, man. I think even in round 1, he's not going to just give up position and give up his back. I'd be shocked. Yeah, I think Robbie's going to do what he can do, get it back up, and let's face it, Khamzat's been tested by guys that are quite a bit smaller than him. You know, he really got tested by Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns dropped him in that second round. At the end of the fight, he didn't get credited with a knockdown, but that was a fucking knockdown if you go back and watch it. And Kamaru Usman moved up in weight to fight him at middleweight. Robert Whittaker hasn't been a middleweight for a decade. You know, he's a big, strong guy. He's fought guys that are way stronger than Khamzat, way stronger. And Khamzat, yeah, he's technical, but he's also a bit of a bully. And I don't think he's going to be able to bully Rob. Rob's the fucking man. So, yeah, I really like Rob 4-5 or decision. Rob decision, and I do like his KO. Late KO props are really crazy at what, plus 2,200 and plus 3,000. Yeah, I really like it, man. I really like it. So, yeah, give me Rob to get it done. Fingers crossed. Gets back in there, gets another title shot, and puts on a good show for the Aussies.
I like it. The only thing I would say is, or I would add, is to rebut Cade a little bit. But, you know, he's kind of stuck in the place where he's telling us we're all wrong. So I'm not trying to
No,
hammer
no,
on him
go.
too
I want to
much.
hear it, bro. I'm not. Listen, I'm not.
So Chimaev
I
is
want to
like
hear it.
7 or 8 of 18 in first round takedown attempts. But if you just look at his last 2 fights, he's 4 of 14 in first round takedown attempts. And even if you add the Gilbert Burns fight, because that's really high level, he's 5 of 16. And then if you go to look at his striking, while his numbers, they're pretty good, when you go look into the position in the round, he's striking at like 38% in the first round at distance. He swings a lot. He spams a lot of takedowns, but he doesn't actually have a lot of success. I mean, when you look at the fact that he had to shoot even, and I understand like what you would say, like, well, he controlled Usman for the whole first round, right? Okay. But that's 2 of 7 takedown attempts to control him for that entire round. So even if he didn't have him down, he's spamming those attempts. And it's the same thing he does with his punches. So like the question just becomes, can Robert Whittaker push him back, hold him at pace, find his timing? You crack him 2-3 times. I mean, it's not anything against Chimaev. Anybody gets hit with 2-3 clean punches, the whole fight has changed. The whole fight has changed. You're probably not gonna be in that dude's face anymore. And a guy like Robert Whittaker, I would say you have a really hard time with that. If you go to the other side and you look at Robert's first round takedown defense, you'll find the Duplessis takedown, and then you will hunt for another first round takedown defense or another first round takedown. Then you'll go all the way back. If you look at all of Robert's fights, he's got, I don't know what it is, like 4 or 5 hours in the octagon, right? He's been controlled for 16 minutes. And over half of that was by Yoel Romero. Over half of that was by Yoel Romero in those 2 fights. Bobby Knuckles doesn't get taken down much in the first round. He doesn't get controlled much at all. Chimaev isn't very accurate in the first round, which is where most people see him strong. Uphill bet, in my opinion, man. But I do wish you luck, but I'm betting against you. I'm going to let you close it out, Cade, and then we're going to move on to the last one. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, I think this is a friendly discussion. I don't look at it like you guys are all ganging up on me or anything like that. I think it's a good discussion. Like I said, if you're the one holding the Chimaev ticket in rounds 4 or 5, you're probably the one sweating. So, I mean, I don't disagree with that. So, I mean, hey, well, I guess we'll get to talk about it on Sunday in your guys' other space, or maybe next Tuesday whenever you guys, I think it's Sunday, but I guess we could talk about it then. You know, the fight's happening Saturday, so I guess we'll all find out. But like I said, 4 and 5 for if that fight gets around 4 or 5, I agree. Yeah. So, but yeah.
I'm going to bet that Bobby Knuckles round 2-3 KO. See what I get on that shit. I'm telling you. I'm going to close this one out. Holy fuck. We spent 7 years on that fight. I don't know if you guys know, but it was 7 fucking years we just spent on that fight. Final fight of the night, Ilia Topuria, Max Holloway. Max Holloway is currently plus 189 plus 199. Apologies. That's the average, 32 books, 79 days, minus 256 on average for Ilya. The over is set at 4.5 rounds. You're actually getting plus money, plus 110 to take the over. Under on the under is minus 140. Max Holloway actually melts Ilya Taporia a little bit more impressively than I think than Robert Whittaker does Chimaev. Actually, not at all the same. Not at all the same. Max Holloway is going to beat the shit out of Ilya Taporia. And I think that if he can finish him,
Man, you ain't gonna do
he may
shit,
choose to
cuz.
punch him a few extra times. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. Max Holloway is going to melt that young man. That young man is very naive to what this fight is going to be. I'm going to come out to the middle of I'm going to point in the first 10 seconds. Bro, if you even have it in your head that that's an option, you're already too stupid to fight Max Holloway. Max Holloway points to the center of the octagon after he's beat the shit out of somebody, beat the shit out of them for an entire fight, and says, "Hey, man, you want a chance to win the fight?" Because that's what he did for Ricardo Lamas, where he was like, "Hey, man, this is it for you. This is your big moment. Here, bro, here's your chance. Come on, let's go. You want a chance? Let's win this fight." And that's by my account, and that's by Max's account of what it means to do that. So,
Nah, you right, Joe. I'll give you
yeah,
that. I ain't gonna lie. My parlay makes it make it to the main event. I'm definitely putting like 2 racks on Max Holloway for sure, for sure.
Oh, fade it back. Hedge that shit back. I
Hell
ain't
yeah,
mad at
Max
you.
ain't no bum. That's I'd be stupid not to put money on Max if I make it that far.
So I'm gonna throw this out there and say that I believe that this will be, and you guys can roast me on Sunday if I'm wrong, because I'm gonna be a glorious motherfucker for probably months to come. I'm just gonna ask: did everybody in here see Max Holloway versus Kelvin Kattar?
Man, Calvin Katie ain't on Ilya the Poise level, bro. Come on now.
Did everybody see Max Holloway versus Brian
That's
Ortega?
another bum. Come on, dog.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
Rounds 3, 4, 5 will look the same. Rounds 3, 4, 5 will look
Joe,
the same.
you comparing
Max Holloway.
niggas that's not on Taporia level, not even close. Come on now.
Yeah, bro. You ain't listen. Taporia is gonna eat more punches in the first 2 rounds of that fight than he's eaten in his entire UFC career, bro. He's gonna eat more punches in 10 minutes than he's eaten in his entire fucking career.
I believe it's Max. That's not hard to believe. Like, it's Max Holloway.
Yeah. And I just think it's so overwhelming that Ilya doesn't know what to do. But I do think Ilya is has too much willpower to get finished. But I think this one's bad. And then I think we have to see Volk versus Max 9 or whatever it is. And I'm not watching. Yep. I'm actually gonna not watch. I'm gonna actually not fucking watch. Trace, tell me what you're betting in this fight. Tell me why Ilya Taporia is gonna beat Max Holloway.
I took the lead on a lot of these fights tonight. Let my boy Usman kick this one off. Usman, what you got on this fight, bro?
Yeah, I'm on Max, man. I thought Ilya would beat Volkanovski, and I think Max is gonna give Ilya a really tough fight. Um, I think Ilya has all the intangibles. He's got some great skill. He's got a great pace. He's got a lot of good pressure. His strength seems to be crazy. His power seems to be crazy. I just think the way you beat him is you're going to use your distance when you can, and you're gonna have to put the pressure back on him. You're gonna have to stand there in the middle and stay alert of the boxing. As soon as Ilya starts to open up on the combinations, you double overhook him, you clinch him up, slow him back down, then separate and keep the race going again, start it all over again, get a couple jabs in, couple high kicks to keep his head, his guard up, touch the body when you can, keep him away, and as soon as the bull starts rampaging and letting it go, you go ahead and clinch it and slow it back down again, and I think Max can do that.
And if Max win, I'm gonna be broke as fuck. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe. Y'all got me?
Nah, you just put any of the money that you're gonna put on Max and you give it to me, bro.
Mike, what you got on this fight, brother?
All right, so I initially thought Taporia would just run through Mats. I've since changed my tune on that. I think Mats is a more of a stylistic problem for Taporia than Volkanovski was, but I still think he gets the job done. They both one. There's two major things that they present openings to each other. Max Holloway, when he exits out of the pocket, Taporia really throws everything into that left hook. I believe that left hook is open whenever he times Max coming in or out of the pocket. And Taporia has this little moment where he throws and he does not bring his left hand back. And Max Holloway is really good at hiding his right hand behind his left hand and throw it straight right down the middle. And I think that's a problem. But overall, I think Max, I think the volume would be a problem if Taporia wasn't so good at his timing. Taporia has really impressive timing when it comes to his boxing. He doesn't really just throw to throw. He only throws when it matters. He doesn't bite on feints, and he really has measured pressure. So he really doesn't just try to lead the dance. He pressures like he's going to, but he makes his opponents throw, and he makes his movements based off that. And if you're really good at creating angles, whether it's offensively or defensively, Taporia doesn't just throw combos and just keeps it in the same direction. He adjusts to where his opponents are going. So you're not going to get away from his shots. And when it comes to the later rounds, I believe Taporia will get tired. And that's when he can go to his grappling, because even when he's tired, he can grapple his ass off. And I do not think Mats is going to be able to handle that. His grappling is underrated and it's levels above Mats. So I believe Taporia could get the decision, but I truly believe he's going to finish Mats. And I believe he's going to become a superstar when that happens. Don't get me wrong. I believe Max Holloway can finish him too. There's small openings there, but I believe it's on Taporia, and I'm on his side.
I don't even believe Max getting knocked out. That's hard to believe, but
I mean, look at his striking power. I mean, and it's not that they both have chins, it's technique. What knocks you out is the punches you don't see coming. And Taporia knows how to set up that right hand with the left hook body shot, and it comes at an incredible speed that you're already hurt with the body shot, and then next thing you know, you're getting hit behind the ear with the right hand. Think of And he's done this more than once. But the best example was against Black Bear when he almost got finished. And he ate a fucking clean head kick that dropped him, and he immediately came back up and started grappling. But he followed that up with pressure with his boxing and knocked that dude out cold in his hometown. That is the best example of the punching power that he has, because that dude fell like his life just left his body. There's no better example of the punching power he has in that fight. And I believe he can finish Max, and I believe he's going to. Your chin can only hold up for so long.
man, if that happens, it'd be hard to. But I don't know, bro. That's
Ilya Topuria ain't knocking out no motherfucking Max Holloway, bro. Ozzy, what you got?
Yeah, mate, I'll be pretty quick on this one. Yeah, I like Max here a little bit, mostly because the number is getting me there. I do like the 4-5 or decision. What Mike was saying is spot on, though. Topuria, if he doesn't mix in the wrestling here and the grappling, even if this fight goes the distance and he wins, I still don't think he covers his money line. Max is going to have a much higher output. He's probably not going to be landing the more meaningful strikes, but then you're relying on judges to to get it right and everything. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think he needs to incorporate his wrestling here. But even then, if you look at his stats, he's only got 17 minutes control in 7 fights, and I think 8 of those minutes were against Leal in his debut. So he doesn't really go to it too much. That doesn't necessarily mean he won't go to it here. He is good on the ground. He just doesn't get a ton of top control. But his game is getting better. There was a while there where he didn't throw leg kicks at all. And I think it was his last fight, or maybe the Emmett fight, where he started to implement leg kicks a little bit. So he is still getting better. He's getting better. He's trying new things, and he's getting more confident. But Max is an animal. This is just, how do you make a superstar out of Topuria? You get him to beat a guy who was just in the fight of the century. So, yeah, I can see why the UFC put this fight together. I'm never going to bet against Max. And in fact, this one I got a little bit on him. I got a bit on Max. And the other important thing to look at is Max has gone over the 3.5 rounds in 14 of his last 15 fights. That's kind of crazy. So I've also got the over 3.5 as well. So yeah, fingers crossed that whoever wins, it goes over 3.5. And yeah, hopefully Max gets it done here. 4-5 or decision.
Yeah,
Let's go. One
yeah,
more time for
four and a
Holloway.
half at plus money is an easy bet for me. I'll be taking that.
Cade,
Cade, get after
What
it, bud.
up? So, yeah, you guys know me. I don't bet against Max Holloway. I only did that shit once, and I was sitting in front of my TV speechless with nothing to say. um, that happened to be his
Oh
UFC
yeah, with
300
Gaethje.
bout.
That was with
So,
Gaethje.
yeah, I'm not here to talk about that. But I think so. Just a couple things. I think Max's volume, like everyone was saying, and fighting at range is best for him in this fight. I'll say that Ilya, one thing he does, like Mike said, he goes to the body, and I wonder if that could set up his hook to possibly catch Max. I feel like Ilya, when he hits people, they don't fucking move. Um, he's got a lot of power for his size. And I think also the speed advantage too you have to watch out for, in my opinion. But I'm gonna just throw a pick out there. I think Max Holloway, man, like I really have a lot of faith in him to get it done. And he's a tough fight. I don't think this is as easy as Ilya thinks it is. I think he's in for a rude awakening. And but I think it's a tough fight. And then also, like, I don't know about you guys, and I know it's a different type of fight, but like I just can't unsee Jai Herbert dropping Ilya's ass. So like I just can't unsee that shit in my head. So I don't know, man. I actually really love this fight. I think it's a fun fight. I think it's gonna be a good fight. It'll be interesting to see if Ilya goes to his grappling and if it's successful. But in the striking department, I think that they both have very good parts to their game that can be successful against one another. But um give me Max Holloway, man. I mean, shit, plus 190, plus 200 on Max Holloway. I mean, I think that's always a good bet. I don't think you can count Max out of any fight. Um, yeah, that's my take on the fight, man.
Man, the only way Max wins is by decision, in my opinion.
He gonna knock Ilya out. I'm just bullshitting, but if he do, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all if he does, bro. I'm just saying. It'd be nice. I don't really like Ilya, bros. I don't
All
really
right, so
like
I
him.
say if he
I don't
beat
really
Max,
like him
right?
at
He
all.
beat him like dominant. Like, do you does Ilya become a fan
Hmm.
of you? Like, are you gonna start backing him, or you gonna like him more?
No, I'm gonna wait to fade his bitch ass. The fuck?
Well, why you don't
No,
like him though? Like,
I
what's the
don't like
legitimate
him.
reason why you don't
he's a
like him?
he's a poor man's Conor McGregor.
You want to
For
know
real?
why? For real?
Come on, Trace.
So I understand that Ilya is a UFC fighter, and never in my life could I have whooped Ilya Toporia's ass. I understand this. This is no problem for me. Okay. But with that out of the way, what I will say is Ilya Topuria is the type of dude who I whipped his ass when I was a younger man. Bro, just the way you talk, the way you look, we'll break your fucking nose and kick you in the head while you're down just because I don't like you. That's the
Damn,
type
you
of
kick
dude
him in the
Ilya
head, kick him in
Topuria.
the head while he's down, Joe. You got
Yeah, a
some hate
couple
in your
times.
heart, mate.
Yeah, fucking. It ain't
Curb stomping this poor prick.
That nigga got too
it
much
ain't that
hate. What
bad,
the
bro.
fuck going
By the
on?
way, can I say this too? I just want to say this, bro. The only one of the other things that worries me about this fight is I don't know if you guys saw, man, but in his interview with Kevin Iole, Max Holloway, bro, his voice is so fucking scratchy, bro, and he's already looks fucking sunk the fucking 7 days before the fight. Like, that's another thing that kind of worries me about the fight. Is him
Wait till
touching.
you see how big he looks in the
Oh,
fight, son.
I
I'll
hope he
bet you he
does. I
bulks
hope he
up.
does.
Yeah, he
I bet
always
he
looks like
bulks
that
up.
weight
But I just
during the
think
weight cut.
45 is a very tough cut for Max at this point.
No, but what I'm saying to you is, so guys like Max builds like that, and I've heard fighters talk about this, right? So you have to start adjusting your weight before the fight. Why? Because that's where your body's going to try to move back to. So if you're too big before you start the cut, your body tries to move back to that. And if your body succeeds in that, you can actually become too heavy and tired, fatigued from putting too much weight on too fast. But Max is a tall, skinny dude, even with like skinny arms. So whatever he puts back on typically is pretty well proportioned, right? So all I'm saying to you is Max bulked up for that 155 fight. So even though he's still cutting for 145, I would expect him to look a little bit more like 155 Max on fight day than what we remember as 145
Shit,
Max
that'll
on
be
fight
a
day.
good
I
thing
could be
for him, though.
tripping.
That would be a good thing if that happens.
Yeah, I
Because
think it'll help him.
he
I think
that
it'll help.
wasn't no small ass Max Holloway in that Gaethje fight. That was somebody I've never seen before. That dude was he put some weight on for that one, man. He wasn't no twig in that fight. So
Yeah, he could if he had to train for another 2, 3 fights, I don't think he could even go back down to 145. He looked good. He looked good in that fight.
Yeah, he should stay at 155 and go for a run. I believe he could be Islam low key. Like,
No,
yeah, low key.
not at all.
Shit.
Who?
Ilya
Ilya?
and Max.
No, Matt Holloway. Oh, dude, you're tripping. No,
Bro,
Islam fucks them both up
nah,
back to
hell
back, same day.
bro, that nigga struggled with Volk the first fight, man. I was 45. Why? Ilya could do the same shit.
Both beat Max for like 28 rounds in a row or something, though, right?
Yeah, and look, Ilya, and here's another thing I want to point out. Ilya did struggle with Volk with the speed, but he was able to make adjustments. And he, like, I'm telling you, bro, Ilya's fight IQ is a fucking that of a master. Just that's what that whole fight between Volk and Ilya was just them adjusting to each other and making their reads constantly, and Ilya just ended up getting the better of it. It's gonna be the same. Max is just as good. Ilya's is just as good as too. But I think Ilya is going to be able to make the proper adjustments as the fight goes on. And let's just say, God forbid, he keeps striking with Matt to the point he gets tired. He's going to start wrestling. That's the only time he wrestles is when he's tired of striking. And Matt isn't going to be able to hang with the wrestling. So I'm telling you, man, Ilya's the side.
So what I seen on tape was that one of the big things I noticed for Volk was before he got knocked out, he was having success with his jab.
Yeah, and then he
Taporia has
started slipping the jab.
That weak ass
And
Taporia
jab.
then Volk switched.
Taporia started feinting the takedowns and dropping his head every time he did. Volk would catch him with a clean jab. Max likes to throw teeps and body kicks up the middle. I can see him catching him with a teep or body kick. I'm gonna see him working the body on here because we know he's gonna. The path to victory for both these guys really is through the body work. It's going to be who strings the combinations to the body work better, and who's able to get the other one to tire first or hurt them through the body. I don't think if Topuria gets a knockdown, it starts with a head punch. I think it was Mike that was saying, I think it starts with him hurting him to the body and then going to the head to get the finish. But I think it all starts with the body work because I do because that type of build you do typically see them guys not wear body work well. But I don't agree with Mike. I do think that if Topuria is smart, he comes out right into this fight and goes straight into the wrestling. If he stands and tries to prove that he's the better boxer against the superior boxer, he's going to get his ass tore up on the feet for as long as he tries to do that. And then if he gets to the point to where, like we see it all the time, where these guys are trying to prove a point so much that they won't abandon it because they want to prove the point that they're the better striker. If he does that with Max his entire fight, he may not get knocked out, but he's going to lose the fight. He has to
Yeah, but
initiate
we
the
know he's
wrestling.
not going to. Like that.
He's
Okay, we agree fighters talk,
He's a
but we
prideful
know
little dude,
Ilya's not
man.
going to do that.
He's a prideful little dude. I would not be surprised if he does, but I don't think it matters. Like I said, I think we see Max use the teeps and the kicks to the body early. I think we start seeing him try to drain on that gas tank, start hitting him to the body, throwing in the body kicks, throwing in the leg kicks.
Here's the thing, though, with Max's kicks, Topuria knows how to time kicks with his counters. I've already said his counter timing is fucking impeccable. And Max is I'm gonna be honest, I hate Max's kicks. When I was
Well, see,
doing striking, I love kicks. And
you were talking
his
about
kicking
how
technique sucks. It really does.
You were talking about how Ilya was adjusting in the fight. He didn't really adjust. The problem was Volkanovski had zero head move in that fight. The dude, the guy I was watching, his head never went up the center line. He
Well, that's when
basically
he throws
walked.
his offense.
Vo-
He
And that's
basically
always the
walked.
case with Volkanovski.
Right, but
Volkanovski
he
has always
basically
had zero head movement. He's always been there headable.
right.
When he's throwing
But
his offense. Let's make that clear.
No, it's always been there.
Volkanovski's Volkanovski's problem was he backed up into the fence, had nowhere to go. His head was pinned. He got smacked, and then he got hit with another hook to follow up. That was way cleaner, right
Follow
on
up
the
to a
jaw,
body
right
shot,
on the
right?
jaw. But it was not like it was a setup thing. All it was a blitz when he had him up against the cage. Yes, I get it. The pressure has got him against the cage, but it was because he was out of position. His feet got tangled up. He got stuck against the cage, and he took advantage of it. I don't really think it was an adjustment. I think it was just luck, honestly. No, I'm not gonna say luck,
Whoa.
but it was him taking advantage of a mistake by Volk more than it was him setting it up himself. I think.
No, no,
But
no, no, no. Ilya sleeps Volkanovski 9 times out of 10,
no,
brother.
no, 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 no. Yeah, that fight, but Volkanovski, I don't know, man. I just feel like Max is gonna tear him up on the feet. I think once it goes past the second round, we see a big slowdown, or probably before that, honestly, because he was starting to somewhat slow down and starting to wear the damage already from Volkanovski's jab in the second round. He was already starting to bleed, and then he caught the big flurry and that dropped him. But
But he wasn't slowing
honestly,
down. He was still moving forward, trying to make his reads. It was just Volk was. I think Volk was just faster than he thought he was, and he had to deal with that.
yeah, but for me, I took I played it a few different ways. I took the Max Holloway round 4-5 decision. I do think that the KO could be live here. The round 3-4-5 KO on FanDuel, I think it was like plus 1,400. So a lot of value on that. I ran the KO or the round 4-5 decision for for Holloway and Whittaker together plus 2,300. I believe the parlay was for the two leg. I put a unit on that, and then I also ran the KOs 3-4-5 for Whittaker and Holloway in case they are able to get them out. At I think it was $5 paid $660. So a long shot parlay, but a viable one for these bites. And
Hey
then
man, I agree with you. Those are good
want to be
bets.
And then if you also want to be safe, you can also just run the points. I think both these guys, Max Holloway is like plus 430 for the decision, and then I think Whittaker is usually a point fighter, usually wins his fights by decision, was like plus 750. So like huge value on those props. Yeah, like it's like plus 6,500 or 66,000 for the two together. And honestly, if you like, I'm sure most people are on Topuria to win by finish. If you do think he wins by points, you probably get a good number on that.
Man, Max knockout to Poirier. I'm probably done for the year. Like, no cap. Like, this math, MMA math don't be mathing sometimes. That shit be pissing me off.
Well, there's no MMA math, bro.
Well, hold
That's
on,
not a
hold
real
on, hold
thing.
on. Hold on, before baby. Well, baby, don't leave. Don't leave this fucking space without telling me. Usman, get after it.
Oh no, I was gonna ask a question that's on topic but kind of off topic. I don't know if you are done with this fight.
Well, hold on. We are done. Fuck it. We're done because you got something else. Go ahead.
Let's just say Max Holloway wins this fight this weekend. Whether it be by finish or decision. Where do y'all rank him in the best 145s? Does that put him over Volkanovski? Because I think it does.
No. And let's not forget, Jose Aldo is the GOAT of featherweight.
The
Well, I
goat.
got Jose. I got
Goat.
Jose at 1. But if
Yeah, Jose.
Max,
Okay, then we agree. Okay.
if Max beats Topuria, I'm putting him over Volkanovski.
Why?
If Max
Volkanovski
beats
is
Topuria
out.
and then beats Volkanovski.
Mm,
Yeah, Max has to beat Volkanovski. Volkanovski has shown that he is levels above Max.
I don't.
No, he just showed he can
Yeah,
run
I
really
don't think
well.
he's
He's a
levels
short guy
above
with
him. I
long
think
arms
it's
that can
just one
run.
of those type
He
matchups.
dominated that third one.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, he
There was
ran.
nothing Max could do against Volkanovski in that third fight.
I'm not denying that. I don't think he's a better fighter. He's just got that. That's that match type up right there. He wins that fight. It's just
He
the
was
way
just
it
able to be
works.
one fighter that Volkanovski couldn't beat. Styles make fights.
Yeah, and just because he can't beat Volkanovski doesn't mean he's not the better fighter. That doesn't have the better resume. That doesn't have the better longevity. That doesn't have the better championship legacy.
Honestly, I don't believe in
No, that's Volkanovski.
on some real shit. I don't believe in that bullshit. Styles make fight. If you're a good fighter, you should be able to beat any style. That's how I look at it.
That's not true. You can get anyone can knock anyone out. A person can knock out the better fighter any day of the week.
Hey
You
man,
just need to
Floyd.
get
Hey, look at
lucky.
Floyd Mayweather. Man, he deal with all styles, nigga. He conquered that shit, nigga.
Well, that's boxing, not MMA. Let
All
Floyd go
styles
to
of
MMA.
boxing.
I'd like to throw this out here real quick before we get too involved in where does Alexander Volkanovski rank. Listen, man, other than Max Holloway, he doesn't have a good resume. He doesn't. I'm not being mean. He doesn't. He doesn't. Old Chad Mendez, old Jose Aldo, Max Holloway, okay. Brian Ortega, who we
Hey
seen
man,
get
we will
the
not tolerate no Jose
dog shit beat
Aldo
out of him.
disrespect here.
Bro, you got to look at Jose's age, bro. There came a point where Jose waited for Connor so long, he got old without fighting.
But he still
I
got
love him.
better. I already told you.
No, he
Yes,
didn't.
he is. He is way
No, he
better at
didn't.
bantamweight
No,
than
he
he ever
didn't.
was at featherweight.
You're talking about when he went back to training with this fucking original coach or whatever and went down to 135. Sure, he got better then when he could pick up speed and when he was sizable with guys at 135 again, because that was the biggest change that happened to him.
But he
He
still
became
beat
too
everybody
small
else
for
after
145.
145. After he lost his title, he beat everybody else. Besides Volkanovski, who became the champion, he beat everybody else.
Yeah, but that's the same thing with Max. Max did it first with Jose Aldo, beat him twice, and then has turned down everybody except Volkanovski.
So what are we saying here?
Yeah,
Jose Aldo's the GOAT, right?
no, you can't say he's beat yeah, Jose Aldo's the GOAT. That's it. Jose Aldo's the GOAT. We're just gonna leave it at that. Listen, D baby, because I don't want you to cut out of here. Connor J, I see the hand up. Give me 1 second here. D baby, I need like a beat, bro. I need like 30 seconds. I need you to make me something. I need it to be like magnificent, and I need it to be for free for the team, and I need it to be Yeah, I need it. I really need it. And long time ago, you're like, yo, Joe, you ever need a beat? Let me know, homie. Well, I'm the type of dude, right? I put that in my pocket. And like you ever seen an old ass condom in a wallet? Bro, I old ass condom in a wallet, that shit, right? So I need a beat. And like if I had to describe to you what I want it to sound like for 30 seconds, um, not the whole song, but that new Kendrick song, that real sweet one, when he brings in like the trumpets, when he switches the beat like that. But then have you ever heard like Tennessee by Arrested Development? Because that's a dope beat too. So I
Bro,
don't know.
Tennessee by Arrested
You could
Development
take
used to
whatever
make me
you
cry
want,
as
You
a
know what
but
it
kid.
sounds like right now,
take
bro?
whatever you want.
Nah, but nah, I don't even make beats, bro. I got beats like that from producers that come in my studio.
Can I steal them
Yeah.
shits? I don't want
Nah,
to
nah,
pay for them.
it's already
I
paid
can
for, so
steal.
you can use it.
Yeah, is it? How do I Can you send me some
I'll send
shits?
you
I
one. Just
need.
DM me your email. Tell me what you think of this one. It's like, this shit slap. I think you'll fuck with it. I don't know your taste, but it's not garbage though.
So I need it for the intro to the
Nah, I
show, though.
think like
So it
this
can't be
beat
too
definitely
much.
sound like an intro for a show. Like, oh, this shit get you like rowdy, get you hype. Like, okay, this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you be the judge. So I'll send it to you tomorrow.
I'm sending you my email right now. You send it to me
Got
tomorrow.
Hey,
you.
Joe, so you just trying to
Connor
get a
J,
beat?
get
Oh,
after it.
never mind.
You said what?
Yeah, for the intro for the YouTube channel, because we're about to be on YouTube in this motherfucker. I need a beat. Connor J, know you had your hand up. Get after it, bud.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the featherweight like rankings and or the all-time rankings. This stuff like interests me. I kind of agree with
Damn, your mic
like
fucked up.
I know I'm at work right now. I'll keep it short. I do think
I can hear him.
Max has a sneaky argument for being the second, especially if he beats Ilya. Because his longevity and his resume, I think is better than Volk. But I do think Volk has a better championship run, especially because they share some of the same wins, like Korean Zombie and Brian Ortega. Max does have the two Jose Aldo wins. I think he stopped them back to back, which is super impressive. But Volk also has that win. But like this might sound weird, Volk's wins over Max is better than any quality win that Max has like in his career, and he beat him 3 times. And that third win is so decisive and dominant that like that might just keep him above Max, and unless Max runs off another crazy title run. But Max's longevity and resume is so underrated.
Cause somebody recap that shit.
Yeah, I barely heard him.
He said that Max has a sneaky argument if he beats Ilia Topuria for being ranked over Volk, based off of longevity and legacy.
He also made a comment. I believe what he said was that he was talking about the resume, and I think he said that Volk. The problem is that Volk's wins over Max are more impressive than any wins Max has had in his career. The place where I would disagree with that is Max did beat the shit out of Jose Aldo. He did, and he did beat the shit out of Brian Ortega and Kelvin Cater. And you can talk about the pedigree, their pedigree versus Max's pedigree for Volk, but a lot of people argue some of the Volk. I think it is the third fight or the second fight. They argue the second fight for Max. That's why the third fight happened. And I feel like if you take Max Holloway off of Volkanovski's record, his record fades into the abyss. No one remembers him. You beat an old Jose Aldo. You beat an old Korean Zombie. You beat an old Chad Mendez. You almost beat the bigger guy, and then you got fucking knocked out. And then when you came back to your weight class, you got knocked the fuck out again. I actually think Volk's resume is,
Kaka.
I guess it's number 3 in the 145 division, but I bet you if I sat down with it and actually thought about it, I bet you it's number 5, 6, or 7 in
I think
at
Max
featherweight.
resume better, low key. That's just my opinion.
Way better. Way better. And like, everybody's going to be like, what the fuck? Connor's resume is way better at 145. It is.
Yeah, but
You might not
Max
like to hear that.
started off young, and he's been in UFC for a long time. Volk wasn't in that long before he got the title shot.
Bro, what? See, this is that Arnold Allen syndrome. Volk got in the UFC in 2016 and has like 15 fucking UFC fights, bro.
Yeah.
He had like 6, 7, or 8 fights in the UFC before he fought for the
7.
title. 7? Yeah. Like, he's been around. This is that same Arnold Allen shit where people don't remember how long this dude's been around. Like, some of these people we don't remember them until they were in a position
But
to
it
be
was only
remembered.
3 years. How long was it before Max Holloway got the title shot?
His first title shot was at 2016. So when what's his name, Volkanovski got
4 years.
into the UFC, Max Holloway was already getting his first title shot.
Yeah, his point is, how long did Max have to wait for it compared to Alex? Max was more active. Max was beating the shit out of people, but it was only about a year difference. Max did it in about 4 years, and Max won that belt in about 4 years. And then Volkanovski did it in like 3 years. So it wasn't that big of a difference. And I would actually say, if that's the argument, Volkanovski in his 3 years run to the title fight, he had 7 fights. Holloway in his 4-year run to the title
15.
fight had 1, 2, 3, 4.
15.
Did you just count them? Yeah, bro. Active as fuck. And he was beating Charles
Cub
Oliveira,
Swanson,
Jeremy
Craig Collar,
Stevenson, Cub
Anthony
Swan.
Pettis.
And you're talking about these dudes in their prime, bro. Like, he dropped the ball to Bermudez and Conor McGregor back then, and then Dustin Poirier. So he only lost to the guys that went on to be pretty top level. I mean, I guess you could argue Bermudez, he didn't go on to be very good, but I think he went on a run, or he was on a hell of a run when he beat Max. Yeah, it's got to be Jose Aldo, then probably Max Holloway. And the only reason I'm slowing down to say that is, so Conor at 145 was Brimage, Holloway, Brando, Poirier, Silver, Mendez, Aldo. And he was a double champion. Or not a double champion. He had beat Mendez. He was a interim champion, right? And then he became the champ. And then he lost to Nate Diaz and won the rematch. That hurts his resume. But then you've got Eddie Alvarez he beat. So I would say Conor at 145 and then exiting the division. Bro, he's probably got the third best resume. I mean, how are you going to argue it? He's got Max on there. He's got Dustin on there. Mendez on there. Aldo, when everybody thought he was in his prime, in there. Mendez was fucking supposed to destroy him. And then, like, don't forget who Eddie Alvarez was back in the day either. Yeah, bro, I think you could find more people with a better resume than Volkanovski, too. Who brought this rabbit hole up? Who did this shit? This is fucking Connor J, bro. Or was this you,
Yeah,
Usman?
man. I'm gonna show Max some love.
Hey, man, I don't know, man. It sounds. Look, Matt's already had the advantage I'm sorry. As far as resume goes, he was already in the UFC for like 4 years before Volkanovski made his debut. He had like triple the fights before getting the title shot. Like, of course, his resume is going to
Yeah,
be
and
better.
he's only gotten finished one time. Volkanovski has gotten finished double the times.
Why you say it
Because
like
it makes it sound better. Does it sound better if I say Volkanovski got finished twice, or does it sound better if I say he got finished double the amount of times that Max did.
Bro, I was just about to hop on the mic and say Trace is about to leave. His ass is already gone. He's like, these babbling fools. I'm going to fucking bed. Connor J, get after it. We got to close this night out.
Yeah, I just can't stand here and let this Conor McGregor propaganda go on. He has nowhere near a better resume than Volkanovski. I like Brian Ortega might have a better resume than Conor. Like that run it's a great run. He won the belt and whatever, but I don't think it's fair to take away the Holloway fights for both because those 3 fights are so impressive to have on your resume. And Volk's only lost 1 fight at featherweight. Plus, I don't think that Aldo was old when he fought him either, because Aldo had a resurgence at a lower weight class, which people didn't think he was going to have. So, I'm not mad if somebody says Max as a second best because of resume and longevity, but I feel like Volk is getting disrespected right now. I'm not really here for it.
But okay, so my thing would be this, right? Why? Maybe not why. How is it? I don't care if it's Max Holloway. I'll be honest, I don't care if it's Islam Makhachev. Like, I don't give a fuck who it is. How is it impressive to spend 3 out of 4 fights, your first 4 fights, as the champ, beating the same guy the same way and never finishing him? I just don't see how that's impressive. Like, there were other people to fight. I know about them because Max fought them all. There were a lot of other people to fight. There were contenders. No. I beat that guy 5 rounds out of 5 rounds. I'll fight him again. Are you sure you don't want to fight someone else? No. The guy I beat 5 rounds out of 5 rounds. I'll fight him again. Okay. Oh, man, you beat him 5 rounds out of 5 rounds again. Yeah, I did. What do you want to do now? Oh, well, let me fight that washed up Asian guy, and then I'll fight him again. Wait, what? Yeah. Let me fight that washed up Asian guy. And then before that fight even happens, let's start talking about me fighting Max again. Let's do that again. And like, I know I'm being a fucking hater, but bro, I don't feel like it's that impressive. And I would say, did Max beat him any rounds on all 3 judges' scorecards? Did that happen? Connor J, get after it.
I don't think that's really fair to say because, well, Max was he wasn't a long-standing champion, but he was the champion with some title defenses. So they ran it back right away once Volk beat him, and then Volk beat 2 dudes before the 3rd fight. He fought Brian Ortega, which is a win that Max has. So that resume, like the resume that Max has, they share some of the wins. So if it looks good for Max, then it should look good for Volk as well. And then they were supposed to fight for a 3rd time, and then Max pulled out, I believe. And then he fought the Korean Zombie, which again is a win that Max has. So the resume, it's gotta look good for Volk too, because Volk fought the Korean Zombie before Max. So if we're talking about names on our resume, that one goes to Max. I mean to Volk. And then like nobody's finished Max. Nobody has. Nobody's even came close. The only person to come close really is Volk in that 3rd fight when he beat the dog shit out of him. So he beat him in the same way by decision, but the 3rd fight was so much like more dominant, especially in the 2nd fight. The 2nd fight was the fight I think you're talking about, Joe, where it was highly contested and people thought that Max got robbed, which he didn't. It was just a close fight. But the 3rd fight, Volk came out of there and just beat the dog shit out of Max, and one of the best performances we've ever seen. So, like I said, my whole thing is, if we're talking about resumes and longevity, you can give the edge to Max. But if we're talking about resumes, you might, like, it's closer than it may seem, because Volk has the 3 Max wins, and Max doesn't have a win of that caliber on his record, I don't think.
I mean, the win of that caliber is the two Aldo wins back to back, and then for the
But
shared,
Volk has that win as well.
yeah, okay. But what I was gonna say was, and the shared opponents, it's who did it first and who did it better. Max did all of them first, and on the one that he didn't with the zombie, he did it better. He finished him faster. When it comes to Brian Ortega
Well,
fight, Max was never in a second of danger in that fight and finished him.
well,
Yeah, but we're kind of splitting
what I
hairs
would
here, though. Like the
no,
Ortega,
no, we're
yeah,
not.
the Ortega
No, we're
fight
not.
was never close
Max
up until
Holloway.
the submission, and then he got out of it, and then he
So
beat the
what
dog
you're
shit out of
saying to me is Alexander Volkanovski never solved a single problem. Everybody he beat that matters on his resume are guys that Max already showed him how to beat. And Max showed him how to beat the shit out of some of them guys, and some of them guys still almost finished Volk.
Now,
How the
which
fuck
fight?
does Brian Ortega almost finish you?
Yes, but that
How does that
that
happen?
was a scrambling sequence. He hit Volk, and then it was not even really a knockdown.
How do you get stuck in a scrambling sequence?
well-
Max didn't get stuck in a scrambling
Yes, but
sequence.
the point of a scramble though is it's sort of a crazy sequence. Like Brian hit him, and it wasn't a knockdown. He didn't rock Volk. It was more like he pushed him down. Like Volk got sort of thrown to the ground, and then Brian is an incredible jiu-jitsu artist, and he started playing his game, and that's just a testament to Brian. And then what happened after the submission though? Like they could have called that fight after that. Brian could barely even get to his feet. Like he suffered some adversity in that one time with those submissions, and then he laid it on him for like a minute straight, beating his ass.
Yeah, but they did stop it when he fought Max.
Yeah, with a doctor stoppage. It's not like Max.
Yeah.
It's not like Max like finished
real
him
stop.
for real.
Well, yeah, and Volk didn't finish him at all.
Okay, that's fine, but it wasn't Max like finished him because somebody else took charge and made a decision for him.
My point to you would be that other than Max Holloway, tell me someone on Volkanovski's resume that wasn't over the hill, already seen the best of their career when he beat him, and then try to tell me that Max Holloway hadn't already seen the best of his career when he beat him 3 times in a row. That's my problem with Volkanovski.
You think Max
was
over the hill when he beat him 3 times in a row?
Max's heyday has passed. Max will not go on another 13 fight run or whatever it was. He won't. How many was it? It was a gang of fights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 fights in a row. Max will not do that again. If Max gets the title back, I'll be very happy for him. Max will not have a whole bunch more title defenses. He might have a couple, but no, I mean, it's going to pass him. And I know people say he's not that old. Yeah, but how many times are you going to get beat up too? I have also one who's been a long proprietor of Max Holloway, has the highest output in the UFC over time established. One of the highest established over time ever. And when you look at how many fights he has, it's like, holy shit, that's even more impressive, right? Max Holloway has also absorbed more punches than anybody in UFC history. There's nobody else. Nobody else has absorbed more punches than Max Holloway. You will never see that statistic, but I sat down, I figured out how many he's absorbed. I went through and found people who known to take a lot of damage. You might squeak out somebody who has taken more punches than him, but it's going to be like a Clay Guida. It's going to be someone with enormous amounts of fucking fights. Yeah, Max Holloway has already peaked. Yes, I'll die on that hill.
He can peak. That's fine. I agree. His best days are probably behind him. But part of the reason that those best days are behind him is because of what Volk did to him. Like Volk ended his title run. Volk put a lot of those punches on him, and I just have a fundamental disagreement that Aldo is over the hill for both their wins. I think Aldo was a good fighter still when Volk fought him and when Max fought him. So I think that's a good win that wasn't over the hill. Plus, like, the reason why Max has an argument for being number 2 is the discussion that we all had tonight, that the majority of us are picking him to beat Ilia Topuria. Like, the longevity that he has to stay at the top of the game, like, is incredible. So I don't think that he's over the hill. And, like, the punches accumulated, I agree, that's a crazy stat, but he's still out here winning fights in different weight classes. And both beat him 3 times.
Only 245 pounders have won belts in 2 weight classes.
No, I'm saying
Remember
winning.
that. Max Holloway and Conor McGregor.
Oh, you mean the BMF fight?
Hey. Belt is a
belt
belt.
is a belt.
Strap
It can
is a
be
strap.
silver, or, it's silver, but it's still a belt.
Only 2 guys have done it at 145 and 155.
Excellent.
I got to cap it. We're almost at 1 a.m. here, and I get up just before 6 a.m., so that's about it for me. Thanks, everybody who comes in here, man. Baby, I sent you my email. If you really can, send me something I can use. That's my biggest worry, man. Even the shit they're like, oh, yeah, on YouTube, this is royalty free. Yeah, till I use that shit.
I got the.
And then they're like,
if you get hit with a cover, I got the paperwork to where you can dispute it.
oh, I ain't worried about it if you tell me. I'm saying, but when you go on like YouTube and these people are posting 8 hours worth of songs, they're like, it's all royalty free. Yeah, bitch, till I get hit with something. No. If you give it to me, I trust it.
You good. Shit paid for it and shit. I got the paperwork for all that shit. So yeah, I can send you that shit.
Yeah, and then I hope it becomes a hot ass rap song too. And I'll be like, nah, bro, but we already used it. No, I'm fucking around. Listen, everybody who comes in here, Usman kicking it with me all night. Trace already tapped out. Love him, but he already tapped out. Connor J was the first one in the room today. Appreciate him. D-Baby, Ozzy, all you guys. Mike, shit. Let me know when that website's coming back up, Mike.
Hey, man, real quick, man. Hey,
and
Joe and Usman,
yeah.
man. Drop y'all top 10 movies, man. Stop being bougie.
Oh, I'm gonna. You hit it right before we were about to come into space. I'm gonna hit it probably first thing in the morning. I got you for sure. I know at least 5 or 6 of them off the rip. I got a nice list. You'll be like, this motherfucker. But that's it, guys. Listen, this is probably next week is probably the last space we do the way we do spaces. It's probably the last one. After this, we will
go to YouTube.
I will go live. Well, I'll go live on YouTube. I will do the hot topics and stuff on YouTube. The guys will come in on camera. It'll be like that. And then when we do the fight breakdowns, what we'll do is the spaces will actually be patched in, and they will actually show on the screen. You'll be able to see the space. You'll be able to see me and whoever else other guys want to be on camera to that point, and you'll be able to see the space. And you'll be able to talk to us just like this while we're live on YouTube.
You got an actual podcast set up, or what? What you? Man, I'm trying to.
Yeah, go. So click my personal profile right now.
Man, what city you stay in, man? Let me fly out there and be in your podcast, bros.
Detroit. When we get going, you can. I ain't really got a spot. I got 97 fucking kids to put you up. But click on my profile. If you click on my profile, not the cat profile, and you look at my banner, that's the initial build. It's come a little way since then, and then it should be ready to go by the end of this week. So I should be. Yeah, it's not huge, but it's an actual studio. Usman, get after it.
Yeah, no, just apologies. This past Sunday, my birthday was on Friday. Celebration with the parents and all that. This coming Sunday, anniversary with the wife, we're going out to a concert. So I'm not doing the show. Put pressure on Joe and Trace and Mike to do a recap show. Sorry.
I might be able to do a cash or trash on a Sunday night. Talking to you guys, but let's get over into the card. UFC 308, Topuria versus Holloway. I'm very, very curious to